Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, lads? MU player, the top of the list. Top of the podium. Johnny's in there as well. Yes, Johnny, what's going on, mate? Daniel Cooper, Drake, what's going on, lads? Alex, Jonathan, Weaselmon, as always. Tom. Cameron says our players will be retired by the end of this stream. Mate, I've come prepared with... I want you to guess what flavour zero sugar Monster Energy drink I have right now in my hands. Whoever guesses this right, I'll buy them a limited card of their choice under $5. Or $5 or under. I want the exact name of this Monster Energy that I have in my hand right now. I'm not giving away colours or anything of it, otherwise that's gonna sort of give it away, isn't it, obviously? But yeah. $5 limited, go into somebody if you can guess what flavour my Monster is. And I've given you a clue that it is zero sugar. So, yeah, first one that gets it right will be getting a card at some point at the end of this stream, probably. Unless I've, I don't know, passed out or something or fallen asleep. Ian, what's going on, pal? Nope. None of them are right. Drake said, if it ain't the zero sugar ultra one, that's white. You've chose the wrong one. So it is zero sugar ultra, but it's not white. Pull and Punch, no. Energy ultra, no. I mean, they're all energy one. Like, they're all called Monster Energy. And then there's 3 names. It's Ultra something something. Ultra something something. Christoph, what's going on, mate? Cameron's listed every single one. Jesus. Let me see if he's got it right in there somewhere. I'm not seeing it in there, Cam. Aussie Lemonade, no. Ultra Black, no. Lewis Hamilton, no. It's not the Lewis Hamilton one, to be fair. Fiesta Mango, nope. Remember, I am in the UK, so I don't know whether that changes things. Pacific Punch, Weaselmont, nope. Ultra Fiesta Mango, no. But, like, Tom's on the right wavelength as far as, yeah, amount of words and, you know, similar fruit to what he's just guessed. Ultra Peach, no. Just finished Laird stream, now I'm here. My evening is sorted. I just finished Laird stream as well, to be fair. I was in there, rummaging away. Ginger Mule. No. Nobody's got it, lads. What's going on? Come on, you're better than this, surely. You are better than this. Surely to God. Ultra Paradise, no. Watermelon, no. No. No, 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 no. Lads, come on. You're better than this. Ultra Strawberry Dreams, no, Tom. Stray away from red fruits, if that makes sense. Go to... Yeah, not a red fruit, and it's not a blue fruit either. Okay, I'll give you a clue. The fruit is the same colour as Las Palmas' home kit. That has to help. Ultra Gold. Ultra Gold is close, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for. Ultra Gold is close. The green apple, no. Ultra White, no. Vince's close. Vince, however you pronounce your name, sorry mate if I'm butchering that, but you are close. But you haven't given me the 3 words. I need the 3 words, lads. Come on. Right, I'm going to get up Jonathan's gallery because Jonathan did submit his gallery first to be reviewed. Lads, if you're in here and you don't know what we're doing, we're basically reviewing galleries of the members in the member section of my YouTube channel. If you want to become a member, it's £1 a week or £4 a month to join. I'll build your lineups for you every weekend and midweek, and there's a monthly gallery review. And yeah, all the members that wanted a gallery review have submitted their galleries to be reviewed. So we'll be doing that today for the next 20 hours probably. Just checking on the old chat. Ultra Yellow, no. Ultra Paradise, no. Jordan's close. Ultra. We've got a winner! Daniel Cooper, baby! Daniel Cooper. It's Ultra Golden Pineapple, lads. Don't know if you can see it very well. My lights are in the way a little bit, but yeah, Ultra Golden Pineapple. So we're going to open that up. A little bit of ASMR for you. What a sound. So Daniel Cooper, you are the winner. Daniel Cooper, do you want to receive your $5 limited card, or would you like to donate it to somebody? Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. You don't have to, obviously. Just wondering. Cameron went for all of them again. Allison suffered hamstring injury, I've just read. Yeah, that is correct, Jordan. We've got him out. We've got Bakayoko out for tonight. Brother, I was using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is useful, but I don't think it is useful for guessing Monster Energy drink variations. But I'm just looking at my lineups tonight. Serrano, my new boy, is starting, which is very, very fun. I've got Teze starting as well, which is also fun. I need to find out if Lafise is starting. Lafise? Harry, your giveaway I won on the roadmap. Johnny, you keep bringing this up. I'm still not convinced it happened. I think you're making it up. Not that I'm not saying you made up that I said anything. I'm just saying I don't remember if anyone got the correct timing of the announcement. So I guess 416 went live. I love your optimism of how generous. Well, Daniel, you are a generous person from what I can gather. So yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. Lads. But yeah, now Johnny, I will I'll let you know. I'll let you know what I decide on, mate. No worries, Daniel. Well, just remember, yeah, go have a little search, $5 or less limited card. I'll buy it and send it to you, obviously. Okay. Jonathan just sent me his limited planning. No, if you said if we guessed the time right and I got the time on right, I hit it. Okay, Johnny, you can pick a $5 limited as well then. $5 limited to you, Johnny. Let me know the name of the player. He has to be $5 or less, and I'll send him to you as well. At the end of this stream, hopefully, or maybe whenever. But it'll be very, 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 very quick. Very, very quick. Yeah, I promise you I'll do it. Just, yeah. Let me know the name of the player. Okay, enough about that. We've got some lineup gallery reviews to do, lads. So I'm going to have one sip of my Monster Energy. Very, very nice. VAR for Johnny. Now, to be fair, I think Johnny is in the right. I was just winding him up. I do think he is worthy of it, to be fair. So, yeah, let me know, Johnny, and we'll get that sorted. Okay, Jonathan, I sent you a link to the spreadsheet for when you get to the limited part of the gallery review. Okay. So I've got my laptop going here. I've got my two screens. I've got everything sort of trying run at the same time because yeah, this could be a tasty stream, lads. Okay, so Jonathan, until August, I want to win thresholds with my rare cards, 270 and 340 being the target. Is that reasonable? Should I sell my rares and give up on the rare dream and return to limited? I personally think my rare cards are good enough to compete in D5 to D3 in challengers, but I need your opinion. I have 50 euros in my wallet ATM and I'm thinking about accumulating money until August and then try to transition to under 23 rare for fun. What? And then the second question, what should I do with my limiteds? Are there any gaps I should fill? I have a spreadsheet that I can send you if you want. It might be easy to look at that. I appreciate that, Jonathan. And yeah, we'll obviously get through, those sections of questions. I mean, the first thing I'm going to sort of state is, on this stream tonight, I'm definitely, but in my head, I'm not planning on like giving anyone the exact player they should be going to buy, That's not the idea of these gallery reviews in that sense. Like, it's more, what path are you going down? Is that path making sense? Yeah, I'll obviously identify, maybe you need something here. But as far as like what that something is, I'm not going to tell you, okay, it has to be this card. You have to go out and buy a Doku or whoever, I don't want to give specific names because things can change in that sense. It's more about like, where should you put your energy, going forward? Because obviously we've got a couple of transitions, right? We've got now until end of March, April. So like 6 weeks. And then you've got like, March until August. The March until August time is important because obviously we still have threshold then, right? Or well, the target threshold. And then obviously after August, that goes. So, just bear in mind that like whatever I'm sort of suggesting to do in any way, one, that might not have to happen right now. That can happen like staggered in that sense. You don't have to rush to things and make drastic changes to galleries when there might not be that much of a need to right now. But okay, so as far as the first question goes then, Jonathan, until August, I want to win thresholds with my rare cards. 270 and 340 being the targets. Is that reasonable? Okay, so you've obviously got the MLS boys. I mean, you didn't, you've still got Willis and that. I mean, there's definitely a cap team here somewhere. Like, I don't have to look into every player to know that there's definitely a cap team in here somewhere, right? You've got a full MLS sort of team with a few like Austrian cards and whatever. I kind of know, the gist of the rare side of things. Nice little Amuzu pick up there to go with the Chadley. Did I give you that? I sent you that Chadley, I think, didn't I? So yeah, I'll have to neglect the chat in bits now because I need to concentrate on this, and I'll come back to the chat, before we go into the next sort of gallery review. But ultimately, I think it's reasonable. I think, you've got an MLS gallery now that is set for X amount of months until August, where you can, grind $15 a weekend, for MLS in that sense. And, if you do hit, like, I'd personally probably play it safe and just go for the lower threshold every time, and over time accumulate as much ETH as you want to do. Obviously, you said you got 50 euros in the account now. Keep adding to that until you get to maybe, I don't know, what's the target? 200 euros, maybe a bit more. By the end of August, with those MLS cards. And yeah, I mean, it could come to a stage where you've done that successfully, or you're doing that successfully. The issue is with that though, the further you go into August or closer to August, whilst keeping to, let me get this right. The longer you continue to play Cap 240, and the closer we get to August, not the panicking, but the kind of the thought process has to be quite clear in that, like, what happens to these rare cards? Like, are you just going to keep them? Because you've got a good foundation as far as like the MLS side of things go. I'd argue, your European side of things, don't look that great right now. If we're even if we're talking outside of threshold, and that's fine because you've managed to strengthen really heavily in the MLS cards, and that's great. But what I'm thinking is, like, once August is done, you're gonna basically have to play your rare cards in challenger or challengers, yeah. That's kind of how it's gonna have to look. And And you'll still have a few months of utility until the MLS sort of finishes in October. I assume it finishes, will it? October, November, maybe. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to keep it, Jonathan. I think you worked really hard to get this gallery, the rare cards where they're at. Go give them a go in Rare Threshold and see how you get on. It's all trial and error at the end of the day. It's all good and well trying to prep up until August and say, oh yeah, we'll want to win $200. But like ultimately, you've got to go out and try it first, and see how successful / unsuccessful you are. It's all going to be a process. But yeah, I don't think you should return to limited, to be honest, because I think your limiteds are probably strong enough, which we'll get into, to where I think you could afford to keep these rares as they are right now for sure for a little while, and just test out how they do in the threshold situation. That's kind of how I feel with it. Just carrying on. Yeah, I have my rare cards. I think they're good enough to compete in D3 to D5. I'd probably agree with that. I probably would. You definitely need to add to them. Like, you definitely need more rare MLS cards. Sound level. Okay, maybe I'm not speaking too close to the or not close enough. Sorry, to the mic. Let me have a look. It might be because of that. Let me know now, lads. That should be a bit better. I'm just catching up on the chat a little bit, lads. Monster sponsor for Harry. That'd be fun. Did you work out how the music works? No, I didn't, Al, to be fair. I really didn't. Saito is £5, 38. Yeah, that'll be fine, Johnny. I'll buy you him. I'll get him for you. You don't need to give away a card. It's fine. It's all good. So yeah, I think you could compete to D5, in D5 to D3 with these types of cards. But I think with the thresholds that you do win on paper, you have to go out and reinvest and keep building on this MLS lineup. That's how I would play it. I don't think you can afford to just cash out those thresholds in that sense. I think you need to keep adding to this rare MLS side of things that you have. The issue will then come in August when the new European season comes around. You'll only have, those MLS cards for a month or 2 months or whatever it is. And then it's like, okay, I can't really play, European rare cards going forward because I don't have any. So, whilst you're winning thresholds maybe from February onwards, maybe with the MLS boys, maybe do you look into buying a rare keeper maybe from challengers potentially, so you could then build on 2 lineups, over time. So with the MLS thresholds that you win, turn that into a challenger keeper, and then continue to build challenger European cards whilst MLS plays, and even over the summer whilst European don't play. So you're getting them a bit of a cheaper price, and then you can go play classic contender then all year round. So you've got your MLS for one side of the year, and then you've got the European side. But they have to be Belgium, Eredivisie, etc., right? To stay in contender. I would stick to that, not contender, sorry, challenger. If that makes any sense. So yeah, that's kind of that, and then as far as the transition to under 23 rare, I think that's like not a pipeline dream, but I don't think you need to worry about that right now. Worry about getting stronger at the MLS over time whilst winning thresholds. Potentially turn that into a challenger keeper, maybe. And then with that, then you go challenger outfielders. And then eventually you'll have a challenger team for next year. That's kind of how I would try and look at it. I'd kind of disregard under 23 for now, personally. I don't think you need to do that. And then with your limiteds, I can have a look on my laptop. What you've sent me. I mean, we can have a look here as well. But I could technically go through. I could do it by like region, basically, couldn't I? No Rothwell. Oh wow. No Rothwell. That's mad. Okay, I'm just looking at your spreadsheet now. I've got it on my laptop right here, Jonathan. Yeah, this does look a lot easier than what I'm looking at here, so that's great. Okay, champions. I guess I should probably put it on the screen. Let me put it on the screen. Okay, so we're looking at champions. We've got Rono, Summer, Jorgensen, Dimitrievski. What is... okay, the leagues, yeah. So, you understand, it's all going to come... Yes, Martades, what's going on, mate? It's all going to depend on you. What are you going to play? Are you going to play champions, like 3 champions lineups, or are you going to go in and play your Bundesligas, La Ligas, and Prems? That's kind of, you know, like it looks to me here, you've got a lot of Prem cards. I would probably look to maybe get a Prem keeper in. I'd say Prem keeper just from looking at that. So that gives you the option of playing the Prem competition, potentially. Just off what I'm seeing here as far as like the colours of the cells. You know, there's just a lot of blue there that, you know, isn't in the goalkeeper situation. So that's something I would definitely look at there. You're always going to have probably less forwards than you are midfielders and defenders, which is pretty standard. Quinny, what's going on, pal? Thank you for letting me put it on, Jonathan. And then, yeah, challenges then. We're obviously looking a little bit, I mean, not weaker, but it just looks a little bit slimmer maybe. So Silinson, Slonina, Suzuki, Peacock Farrell. You got 2 Willises, okay, Milia. I mean, you look pretty set there. You got half European, half MLS. I'm pretty content with that. And then what have we got going on? Quite a few MLS, or more MLS than we have Europe. Well, yeah, quite similar, I guess. A lot more Europe. Yeah, you've got some really good mids. Proper, Madsen, Vasharan. I think you're fine for mids in Challenger. Malik Tillman. I mean, you could probably do with a nice little striker, I would say, in Challenger. Just looking off that quality-wise. Like a really decent striker. That could probably really help. Turnbull. You got some, yeah, interesting players around here as well. Okay. And then contenders. We've got, so Asian, got, yeah, Kim, Higashiguchi, Langare, Clark. Okay. Yeah, I mean, quite heavy in the Asians here, aren't we, really? Which is not a bad thing. I'm just sort of stating that. I mean, honestly, I'd say you're pretty set at limited. Like, there's little bits and bobs. Like I said, maybe a forward in challenges. I'd say definitely a goalkeeper from Prem. It's all going to depend on what you want to play at the end of the day, right? If you're going to just play champions, then you're basically set because you only play 3 lineups, kind of. I know you want to, you know, play the matchups and whatever, but I think you're pretty set personally to play 3 teams in each of challenges, contenders and champs. Obviously, there'll be the odd game week where you play Prem or you play, you know, La Liga potentially. So yeah, it all depends on how much you want to play, you know, or how many competitions you want to play. But if you just want to play 3 of champions, challengers, and contenders, I think you're in a good position. You've basically got double the goalkeepers for every position. I can kind of get behind that. You know, that's not, you know, you're not really asking too much to have some good matchups there. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, Jonathan, to be honest with you, mate. And then just getting off that, was there anything else in there? Let me just go back. Any capture, Phil Evans. Yeah. So those are the 2 major ones I would say, Jonathan. We can address them next month, but those are the 2 things that stood out to me just from a quick glance. So I hope you are happy with that, mates. And we are gonna swiftly move on then to Despa, who unfortunately his best lineup this weekend has been dismantled. I heard. I think we put Allison in there, didn't we? And now he has apparently a hamstring injury, which is just fucking great, isn't it? So I'm gutted for you there, mate, to be completely honest with you. I really am. So yeah. Quindog. Thanks, Harry. Really helped me with the rare planning. We'll get a Prem keeper when prices relax. Yeah, good point. There's probably not much of a rush to get that Prem keeper in right now, isn't it? With how bonkers they're going. Okay, Despa. Christoph, what are we gonna do here? You want to have a solid team for all 3 new competitions after transition, challenger, champion, and contender. Do I need any bigger moves in your eyes? How new changes impact my current gallery? Any suggestions beside that? Keeping in mind I only plan on staying at limited. Perfect stuff. So we've got a gallery here that only wants to play limited, which makes a lot of sense. Because yeah, right now I think being like a bridge scarcity, i.e. like if Despa had like say 30 rares or something to add to his like 500 limiteds he had, you know, obviously he'd be way, just has way more depth at limited. I think a lot of players, maybe similar to Jonathan's position, but I think it's definitely worth Jonathan, you know, just feeling Cap 240 out for a little bit because you've worked hard to get that team. There's no point turning your back on it now. It doesn't make sense because your limiteds are fine enough. But a gallery like Despers has some really, really good depth. Let's go into Challenger first then. Champion, sorry, first. And see what we've got going. We'll filter by... Can we filter by... Oh, yeah, we can do... Yeah, this is it. I want to sort by floor highest to lowest. Scott's watching for the first time. Keep smashing it. Oh, thank you, Scott. I really appreciate that, mate. I really do, pal. Penn says, anyone know anything about Josip Juranovic? Good player. Was at Celtic. Quinny will know a bit about him. Quinny will love him. Everyone loved Juranovic at Celtic. Sorry, lads. I'm just replying to a few text messages. Yay. Yeah. Lafise is starting for me, lads. Love to see it. And Nicholas Madsen is as well. I've got 4 out of 4 starters tonight, which is fun. What is the Southampton team, by the way? Let's have a look at the Southampton team. Obviously, we said no Rothwell. Is Brooks starting? No, he's not. Bazunu, Stevens, Bednarek, Howard Bellis, Walker Peters, Charles, Smallbone, Armstrong, Fraser, Armstrong again, and Mara. Wow. Brooks on the bench, Suleiman on the bench, Rothwell on the bench, Adozi, Manning's on the bench. Wow. That's mad. That is nuts. Just catching up on the chat. He's got the monster ready for a long stint. Of course I do. For the next stream, everybody should prepare a spreadsheet. I don't know. I mean, it probably does help. But then also I think it does help. But I think this, you can kind of do it this way probably, Jonathan, in the sense of like, sort from high to low as far as floor price goes. You've kind of got a decent gauge on, what the strength is like. Johnny says, don't mean to rush you. Johnny, you're rushing me, mate. You're rushing me, to be fair. And you know what? I don't blame you, because I've probably owed you this for a long time. Well, I have. It's probably a week. Johnny. Jesus. All these recovery codes. There you go, my man, Johnny. Don't say I don't do anything for you. Is that the right card, Johnny? I hope it is. Otherwise, I've just bought a random card. Yeah, that's the right card, isn't it? I think that's the right card. Okay. I've been waiting for Saito. He's been bouncing at the price. £5 is best recently. Let me send him to you. What was your gallery name again, Johnny? Boyson, wasn't it? Here we go. Oh, wow. Red card against PSV. Whew. 12 minutes in. Jesus. That could be a tough night at the office for Hercules. Offer's been sent, mate. Enjoy. Johnny, that can't be the only smile you've had all day. I'm disappointed if it is. But yeah, glad that made you happy, mate. Okay. Despa. You want 3 solid teams for all competitions. Do I need to make any moves? How new changes will impact my gallery? Any suggestions? Okay. David's first time catching the streams as well. What's going on, mate? Welcome to the stream, mate. Okay. So, champion keepers. Alisson, ter Stegen, Kobel, Romero, Gazaniga, Kelleher, Bizot. Got like Muller. Yeah, okay. So we've got a very fair amount of goalies there. Two new seasons, which is definitely quite helpful, I would say. Defender-wise, we've got what? Trent. So yeah, we've got the Liverpool boys. Got a nice little Araujo in there. Kunde as well. Van de Ven, Stones, Blind. Yes, that can go nicely with Gazaniga. Yeah, I'd say maybe there's maybe a bit of a drop off in champ defenders. Maybe you're probably missing. I mean, it's easy to say, but you are missing. And you've got Trent and Virgil for sure. But like, maybe a bit of exposure to like a Grimaldo or something like that type of. I know he's like the best defender, but you know what I mean. Like someone else maybe like that potentially. Say they're definitely scoping that. Midfielders, Rodrigo's a great start. Tchouaméni, De Jong, Valverde, Szoboszlai, Alexi Garcia, DePaul, Del Castillo, McGinn. Okay. Yeah, I mean to field three good champ teams, you're gonna need like 5 to 6 midfielders, really, aren't you? Harry must get paid, mate. I get pennies on the dollar, mate. I'll be honest with you. You really don't make that much money from AdSense. I'll be honest. I have to turn them on though, otherwise, YouTube won't like recommend my videos really. So that's the only reason I do it. I promise you, mate, I make hardly anything from AdRev. I wish I made a ton, but I don't. Promise you. Yeah, midfielders, I definitely think there might be a bit of scope to improve midfielders as well. A little bit. You've definitely got quality here, don't get me wrong. But Rodrigo's like miles ahead of everyone else, I would say. Like, just look at the L5s and L15s. Outside of Melu, I'm not really looking at many good L5s and 15s there, if I'm being honest. Can you run ads? What do you mean, Cam? Just like YouTube ads, So yeah, I definitely say there might be scope to get a nice little champ mid in there. Another one. Maybe not Rodri level, but maybe just one below that. Like I said, I'm not looking to give you exact names. You've got some good ones. Like I can't dispute that, but there's definitely scope for maybe 1 or 2 some really nice mids to go in there. If you want 3 good champ teams, like you're saying, Salah, Alvarez, Nunez, Jota, Dovbyk, Gakpo, McNeil, Tiskankov, Diaby. I'd say you're probably pretty set at forward. Like having the pick of the bunch at Liverpool forward. You only like if you're playing 3 champ teams. I know you're gonna want to play in season as well, maybe, but like, you can't play 3 forwards in one team, obviously, but like, yeah, you probably only need like 5, I would say 5 really good forwards, and you've probably got that there, I would argue. Yes, does it let you choose when to have them? Yeah, I choose before I start the stream. I just said I set it to like a timer thing basically. So every like 20 minutes or something, every 25 minutes, there'll be an ad shown. Basically, is what I chose. I'd say you're pretty set at forward, Desperate, to be honest. Challenger. Let's go challenger then. Goalkeepers. So Brady, Blake, Fry, Berkey, Freeze, Clark. Yeah, wow. So you've got the pick of the bunch for MLS goalies. I think you're definitely pretty set there. Just received an offer. Oh yeah, the card. Yeah, well, Boyson's been nice enough to give us this card to give away. PSV have just gone 1-0 up, by the way, lads. So thank you for donating that. It's very, very nice of you. And yeah, this will be given away to one of you guys this evening. It's not a big card, lads, but it's better than nothing in it. It's better than a kick in the teeth. So I'm just catching up on. Well, I'm trying to see who scored for PSV. Sorry. But yeah, goalkeepers, I'd say you're definitely fine with in Challenger. I mean, you're going to have 3 teams going out, during the MLS season. I just not worry, but, as far as European teams go, it doesn't look like you're that heavy in challenger European players. But if you're not interested in that, then that's fine. I wouldn't really worry. Luke de Jong has just scored, lads, if anyone cares. Luke de Jong. 18 minutes in. Defender-wise, we got Kai Wagner, perfect. Andrade, nice. Harriel, Glessons, Gilherm, Elliott. Yeah, the problem is in the MLS, the defenders sort of category isn't even that great. But you've got the best one in Wagner, which is a great start. So, that's obviously going to help massively. I'm just waiting for that Teze assist to come through. Joey Veerman assist. Of course it's fucking Joey Veerman. Why did I even think it would be Teze? Of course it's going to be Joey Veerman, for God's sake. Why was I so naive? Why was I so naive, lads? I was just MLS defenders, there's not much to choose from, but you've basically got the pick of the bunch, really. Outside of Wagner, maybe a what's his name? I've got his card. Why can't I think of his name? What is his name? Why can't I think of his name? The one that just signed for Inter Miami. I've got him in my gallery. I don't know why I'm blanking here. Where's he to? Gressel. Maybe a defender Gressel card, potentially. Maybe. Okay, midfielders. Heel, Herrera, Luna. What a card. João Paulo, Jack McGlynn, Gazdak. You've got obviously 2 of the best mids there, I would argue. João Paulo's up there as well. Rusnak's a really nice one. 4. You need, like I said, you probably need 6 MLS or 6, challenger midfielders, I would say, to really bulk out those 3 teams. I'd argue you definitely have the depth here. For sure. I wouldn't worry about mids just off the basis of that. Christoph's in here. MLS goalkeeper and defender with a lot of home games, cherry picking the best scores, to be honest. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Christoph. I think that's a great strat. And then up front, Buanga, Carranza, Chalansai, perfect. Klaus, Durissi, Cypers, really nice. Zaha, Morris, Ure, Vargas, really nice. Okay. Yeah, forwards are fine. I can't really argue with them at all. Baribo, your boy Jonathan. Yeah, I don't know. Are we missing maybe an Insigne or something? I don't know. Maybe one other really good forward to go with a Buanga. I know Cyphers could be that guy. But we just don't know. Maybe a Muriel. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of maybe 1 or 2 more that could go in there. And then contenders then. Sorry, I don't want challengers. I just want contenders. Contenders, okay, so this is where you need to, if you want 3 new competitions, as in, you want 3 solid teams. Right, so you're saying you want 1, you're basically saying, Christoph, are you saying you want 3 solid teams for each competition or 1? Because it says, I understood it as 3 new, but you want 1 new for each one, no? When do Celtic play Rangers? Isn't it April? Johnny wants to give it away in the chat. Here's the question. Oh, yeah, I answered the question. Sorry. Contenders will need most work. Perfect. Sounds good. At least we're on the same page. Okay, so we've got Lanzi Lotta, Jose Caro. Yeah, so we definitely need another goalie. Defenders. What we got? Cochran, Mamana, Samsia. Yeah, there's definitely room to improve the contender side of things. It's just where you buy them from, isn't it, really? If you won them, not now, but if you won them over the summer, then Argentina's probably the best place to look. It's obviously going to cost a bit maybe, but look into maybe getting a river stack potentially, Despa, of some sort. That could be quite fruitful. 3 in Champion Challenger. Contender will be built this year. Got you. Got you. Who got it right, Johnny? Who got it right? Yeah, okay. There's definitely room for mids as well. Yeah, if you really want to compete, you've got to be looking at your Brunettas in Mexico. You've got to be looking at your Barcos and stuff. You will have to sort of shop in those areas. Gustavo Boo's a nice card, though. River stack outrageously good. Yeah, River's been ridiculous, haven't they, so far? Really, really good. Yeah, there's definitely room to improve this gallery. The contender side of your gallery, Despa, with some with some maybe Argentina cards or Mexico maybe. And then looking forward to maybe building off like your second division stuff, like Jose Caro. Could you get into more second division players? Vicente, the striker and stuff. There's definitely a few players maybe we could bolster that out with. But I think you're pretty set, mate, honestly, to really have 3 good teams in those 2 competitions, and then work on building out your contenders, mate. So I think you're in a good position, Despa. I really do think you are. You got some really good depth. So yeah. Okay, Tangled Berry. Okay. Tangled Berry. What have we got going on here then? I want to play under 23 limited, but mainly with EPL championship cards. I am targeting the championship playoffs, as last year I came 4th, as there wasn't many matches. So hoping with more planning I can improve on that. Is it worth keeping the rares I have kept to play the target threshold for now? I have sold most, or should I sell and reinvest in quality limited cards? As I could sell the Almeria rare players and invest in another under 23 championship goalkeeper and other players. Any suggestions that I haven't mentioned? Sounds good. No worries at all, Christoph. No worries at all, mate. Okay, so Tangleberry. So my first sort of word of warning to you is, as far as the EPL championship cards go, I do worry that. So from March onwards, obviously we've got the new competitions, right? Are we going to have midweek from March onwards, lads? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to take my jacket off, by the way. It's getting a bit hot. Are we having... Because obviously, moving forward, I know August onwards, we're getting like special weeklies, yeah? But what's going to happen from March onwards? Do we have... Is it special weeklies that occupy the midweeks? Or do we actually have, midweeks as we know it? Let me know. I'm going to assume we don't have midweeks. And if that's the case, then Tangleberry, I would kind of maybe halt your ambitions to really hit it big in those playoff weeks. I would definitely think about that one, mate. Because I don't know if we're going to actually have midweek, we might have special weeklies of some sort, but whether they're going to be, good enough for you to really target them, it is obviously another question, mate. So, just keep that in mind. Matthew says, what's the best way to progress from limited to rares in the new format? The best way, mate, is to just spend more money. I know that sounds brutal and maybe a bit blunt, but that is it. That is it. You just need to spend more money and obviously buy the rares. I'm not saying there's no other way of doing it, but you do have to just spend more money unless your limiteds are good enough to where they're yielding and winning cards consistently enough to where you can sell those cards and then save up enough money to buy rares. That's just how it works. So yeah. So that's my first word of warning for you, Tangleberry, is I wouldn't, I don't know if targeting those playoff, is that good of a strategy, because we might not actually have midweeks where those are the only teams playing, and you can kind of take advantage of that. I bought Magnus Madsson forward card today. Oh, love that, mate. Lovely card. I really want his forward card. If there is at least 10 licensed teams, Challenger should be open. Right, yeah. Mohammed said, if a comp has 10 licensed teams playing in a midweek, it's available to play. Right, but is that from March onwards? Is that what we're saying? If so, I still don't know how much of an amazing strategy that is. I know you said it worked last week, Tangleberry, fair enough, and fair play to you, but I don't know if I would be throwing all my eggs in that basket, if I'm being honest. But yeah, as far as the rares you have, let's have a look at the rares. Let's have a look at the rares. So yeah, you've got the Almere City boys. I mean, depends what you can sell them for realistically, right? Floor price 28, you know, what's that, 40 quid, 50 quid, 80, 120, 250, 270. Let's just call it 300 quid. Let's just call it 300 quid of rares. If we go to your manager stats, no, if we go to your roster price and go, what is your limited worth? Limiteds are worth 200 quid and rares worth that much. Yeah, I mean, my advice, and obviously this is not a financial advice or anything, so, you know, take it with a pinch of salt, but like, I think I would probably sell the Emira City boys personally. I'd probably get out of them and really bolster your rares. Go hard on your rares. You know, go pick, you know, a champ club to go follow, or, you know, whatever. Like, go find a strategy. Go get a collection bonus somewhere and go put yourself in the hat to really, you know, get a good feel of things limited. Yeah, obviously you've got, you know, your championship boys. Maybe, you know, buy more championship boys if you feel that that's the way to do it. Kubu, what's going on, mate? Hey, Harry, hope you had a lovely Friday. It's been a great Friday, to be fair, mate. Thank you for asking. And, yeah, I hope you've had a good Friday as well. But if they're playing in their league, right, not if they're playing in the UCL, etc. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work with the UCL, etc. You could get a Smash Unlimited lineup. Yeah, of course he could, Cam. He could definitely get a great lineup for that type of money. It all depends on where you want to, you know, obviously most of these cards are going to be, the issue is like teams like Leeds now, if they're going to go up, they're going to be in champion. So I would argue that, you know, if you did sell that Emira City stack, go out and maybe really strengthen your champion like potential lineups. Go find a stack or something, or, you know, a set of cards that really make you, you know, want to, you know, enjoy the game and stuff. But yeah, you are saying here, as I could sell the Almere City boys and invest in another under-23 championship goalkeeper and others. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to keep investing under-23s. Like, right now, well, from March to August, you can only play one under-23 limited lineup. So I would definitely look at, you know, if you do sell the Almere City boys, like, potentially look for cards. They could still be championship cards. But, like, you know, you can only play one under-23 lineup. Like, you've got enough strength there already, I would say, in this sort of, in this gallery to just keep these going as long as people don't get crazy injured and whatever. I would invest that elsewhere. You know, I would go maybe not Premier League, but, you know, La Liga or Bundesliga or whatever. You know, go and find something that that kind of makes the most sense there. Sorare Scout, what's your favorite lineup if you had to choose one, Harry? Favorite lineup is in like from mine this weekend, you mean, Sorare Scout? So yeah, Tangleberry, I hope that makes sense to you, mate. Obviously, any more questions, let me know in the Discord. Next, we've got Simon. Okay. So, Simon wants to make sure I can still play every comp in Limited and have a good shot at it while cutting down gallery size a bit and reinvesting to potentially have less cards, but all my cards are being higher quality. I think 300 plus cards might be too much, but could be wrong. Was thinking eventually going into rare. What comp should I consider? And is it even worth doing at this stage? I also want to strengthen my under 23 side, have a solid enough base down, but lacking some heavy hitters to take up the lineups to the elite. So suggestions would be really appreciated. Wait, can't you play under 3? No, you can't, Jonathan. You can only play one under 23 lineup between March and August, and then from August onwards, you can play 3. But you can only play one between March and August, like 100%. 100%. Okay, side. So you want to play every competition at Limited. I think, so what we got, 337 rares. Let's have a look. Let's go champ first, see what we've got. Courtois, ter Stegen, Areola, Mandanda. Sounds like a good little base to me. Yeah, 4 or 5 keepers there. I can get on board with that. Cancelo, Romero, Koundé, double Koundé, Thiate, Mittelstadt, Assignon, Alonso, Sergio Roberto. Okay. Yeah, potentially maybe a few more quality defenders, I would say, in Champ. Midfielders, Maddison, Frankie de Jong, Pedri, Fulrich, Angela Faye, Bougigoat. I'd say you're probably pretty set at midfield. Midfield feels quite strong. Alvarez, Terrier, Undav, Guarassi, Tony, and Buemo. Yeah, and I'd say forwards you're pretty strong as well, to be fair. Can't really argue with forwards and mids. I'd say, yeah, maybe lacking a midfielder or two. But yeah, I mean, it all depends on all your needs and wants in this game, lads. Like if you've got 337 cards like Simon does, and he's spread across, all 3 regions, I think it makes sense to just keep adding to them, really. Unless one region is like really suffering and you want to just cut it off. Sometimes that's fine as well. Like maybe you don't have to play all 3 regions. You can cut maybe all your contender cards up and move them all into champ and challenger and go really hard in two in two regions, if that makes sense. All right, Sorare said, like if you had to choose one lineup, what would you love to put out? I'm assuming it would be an under 23 for sure. Oh no, yeah, Jonathan, yeah, it's 3 after August. Sorry, mate. So yeah, I think 300 card. I mean, no, I don't think it is too much, to be honest. Sai, especially with how we're going to be able to play 3 old season, 3 classic competitions for each contender, challenger, and champion, and then 3 under 23s. I think having depth going forward is the priority. I think you need depth. Simple as. Yeah, of course you need quality, but you need fucking good cards. Like you need a lot of cards if you want to play multiple lineups, because multiple good lineups have better chances than winning. Than one lineup. This like one good lineup versus 3 good lineups. That's basic sort of maths. The 3 lineup sort of gallery of each region is probably gonna win more rewards on than the one. If it's one like elite team versus 3 average teams, then yeah, I'd probably argue that the one team maybe over the course of the season probably wins better rewards maybe. But I think with big galleries like this at limited, you've got to be aiming to have 3 contenders, 3 champ, and 3 challengers, I would say, if you've already got a footprint in there already. So that's kind of what I would be advising there. And then was thinking of eventually going into rare. What should I consider, and is it even worth doing? I mean, how many rare cards do you actually have? How many rare cards do we have? Oh, 1. Oh, 2 maybe. Honestly, Sai, it depends, how much you're willing to invest in this platform at the end of the day, right? That's why it's going to determine whether you're going to go into rare or not. But I would say, with your gallery right now, I would just concentrate on getting stronger in each region, filling out. You basically need 15 cards, 3 goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, forwards, whatever. You need 3 good lineups in every, contender, champion, challenger, realistically, to be, in with a shot of winning multiple rewards every weekend. So I would concentrate on doing that at limited before even thinking about rare, to be honest. And once maybe you get the ball rolling with limited and you're able to sell a few new in-season cards and you're getting good money for them and whatever, and finally you've got a balance of X amount of dollars, you go, okay, now let me start going into rare. Like walk before you can kind of run in that sense, in general, and kind of really build out those limited first, I would say. So I hope that helps, mate. And then Alex Coombs is up next. They have just been for kickoff rare. Fair enough, Sally. That's fine. That makes sense, mate. Just checking up on my Teze. He's on 7 AA. Which is not terrible, but not great. Okay, Alex Coombs. So come March, he wants to play champion and contender. Is playing the Prem comp right now. move to build up a balance to extend my Champ EU cards ready for when the new season cards come in. No worries at all, Si. No worries at all, mate. Okay, so is playing the Prem comp right now the right move, to build up a balance? I would argue, yeah, Al. The right move right now is to play the Prem winter comp, or, Prem in season comp, because, Laird was speaking about it early on stream. Like, your gallery needs a path to cash at the end of the day. Not everyone, but if that's your goal, then I think, with a gallery like yours, that's obviously Prem heavy majority, I think that's your best chance of winning ETH or whatever, as well as Cap 240. But $2, $8, like, it'll probably fluctuate between those two. But I think the Prem winter comp is your chance of really hitting like a $50 or a $30 or something that like completely outweighs however many thresholds that would take. 15 weeks of threshold at $2. Yeah. So I think definitely play the Prem winter comp with the cards you have. You got some really good in season cards. I think that's definitely the play. And then, yeah, like you said, from March onward, play Champ and Contender. I would continue to play the Prem comp as much as you can. Build into the Champ cards, like you said. And then as far as Contender goes, let's just have a look at what you've got Contender-wise. So you've got the Austrian boys. I don't know when the Austrian league actually finishes. I'm going to assume not pretty soon, but I know they've just come back. But I can't imagine they go past like May, do they? I know you've got a few Scottish boys as well in there. So, yeah, I would say Champ is the priority, 100%. 100%. So, yeah, stick to that. And then, as an afterthought, I think picking up the odd Contender card isn't a bad play at all. Is how I would definitely go with that, mate. So, yeah, hope that makes sense. And we've got Tom Halfyard up next. What's going on, Tom? So, let's go. I'm wanting to prioritise under 23 limited. He needs more depth here, but made a decent start, I think. Also building into more new season Prem cards in limited for Champ/Prem comps. Perfect. Real-wise, I have a 95% MLS gallery, which I will play Contender with over the summer. Want your general opinion of my gallery, please. Any areas you would look to strengthen as priority, and I guess if you think playing under 23/Champ/Prem in limited and rare Contender with the MLS boys, you put a fair bit of money in, as you'll see, is a good shout. Okay, let's have a look at this then. So let's go into under 23 first and see what we've got going on there. No worries at all, Al. I hope that makes sense, mate. Any questions? Obviously, just pop them in. Zaragoza are losing already. My boy Serrano. He created a big chance in 12 minutes as well, Serrano. Somebody must have missed the big chance, which is so ideal. so ideal. Okay. Under 23 goalkeepers then. I only want to see limited, please. 2 Trubins. Wow, is that right? No, that's just duplicated, isn't it? That's weird. Wonder why it's done that. It's very strange. That's very strange. So I'm just replying to Mr. Laird on Discord. Okay, so you've got Trubin. Basically got Trubin and Lowell, to be fair. Not bad. 2 goalkeepers there. Silva. That's really weird why it's duplicated, isn't it? That's very strange. Let's have a look. Just one. Strange. Let me send this to Laird. Didn't mean to do that, for God's sake. Under 23 filter glitch. Yeah, it must be something to do with the under 23s. That's fine. What I'll do is I'll just do it over here. Yeah, here we go. That probably works. Okay. Yeah, here we go. We're back. We'll be getting some more keepers, by the way. Perfect stuff. Okay. So these are rares and obviously limiteds. Balky's in there. El Karani, love that. Hincapié Silva. Yeah, you got enough depth there. Like I said, you can only play one team, obviously. Until August. So I think you've at limited, you've definitely got enough under 23 depth, 100%. And then just carrying on from what else you said. building into more in-season Prem cards. I think that is definitely the way to go, 100%. Rare-wise, I have a 95% MLS gallery, which I'll play contender with. Let's see how good the MLS gallery is. Let's have a look. So we've got Blake, Fry. Yeah, I can live with those two. Defenders, Andrade, Wagner, perfect. Martins, I say you're set there in defense. Heel, Morris, Hector, obviously going to be injured for a little bit. Jackson Newell, Westwood, okay, yeah, I can live with that. Rossi, Ferreira, Swiderski's obviously moved. Capetti, Vargas. So you're going to need two teams, 2 forwards minimum. You're going to need... I mean, yeah, you have to, it all depends on when Herrera's back, I would say. But I would probably say you might need one more mid, maybe. Like one more like very decent MLS mid if you're looking to play like two good lineups sort of every week, which you are quite close to doing, I would say, because you've probably got the rare depth, I would argue. But like the optimal play is not always 2 defenders. You probably want to go 2 midfielders, 2 forwards sometimes, depending on the matchups. But most of the time, it's normally 2 mids, realistically. You've got Heel and Morris and Herrera, I would say, that are really good. Ewell's also pretty good as well. But like what I'm saying is Herrera's injured for the start of the season. I don't know how long he's out for, but let's just argue it's a couple of weeks. Maybe you could do without him. You could go Westwood for a bit. Westwood is good. Like, he's not bad. But, if one gets injured, then, there's 2 injured there. And, it could get a bit dicey. So I wouldn't say, like, you have to rush and go and get one. But, like, that probably is the gap if there is any gap, I would say. And then you said if you think under 23 Champ Rail Unlimited, yeah, mate, I think you're targeting the right areas. Champ Prem makes a lot of sense. That's where the cash is right now for Prem, and that makes a whole lot of sense. You've gone in with the MLS boys; they're in a great position as far as winning good challenger cards for you. And you can also play them in All Star for the next 6 months as well. So I think it makes a lot of sense, mate. So I think you're in a good position, genuinely. I think you're in a really good position. I was just going to check back to limited and just cards in general. Floor highest to low. Yeah, Rodri in there. Hartel, McTominay, Andy Polo, nice card. Oh, that's just midfielders. Silva, Hincapié, Grimaldo, perfect. Saliskas, yeah, okay. Goalies. Ooh, goalies is getting a bit funky, is it? There we go. Flecken, Collins. Maybe argue do you need one more Premier League keeper potentially, so you can play the matchup a little bit better, I would say, Tom. Definitely a thought, I would say, that I would suggest. Martinelli, Somerville, Berghuis, Ferreira, Cunha injury, that's really unfortunate. Yeah, you've got a bit of depth here. Yeah, I can't really argue with too much of this. Alex says, I know it's a little while away, but any ideas what Sorare might do for the Euros? Will there be a specific comp? I would argue there will be a specific comp, mate, if I'm being honest. I don't know that for any, I don't have any inside info at all, but I would probably argue that there will be. Yeah, sorry lads, just replying to Led. Ricardo, I'm gallery reviewing tonight. We'd be doing lineup builds on Monday evening if you want to get involved then. But yeah, we need to concentrate on the gallery reviews tonight. Okay, Donny. I don't know if you're in here, David Taylor, but if you are, well, thank you for being here. Little Super 8 gallery to have a little look at. Let's do this. Before I do that, I'm just going to check the scores of my boys. Teze on 988. Okay. Veerman's on 83 for anyone that cares. Of course he is. Like, why wouldn't he be on 83? Okay. Okay. No worries at all, Tom. No worries at all, mate. Okay. David Taylor, let's go. Need some help on goals, but I think attacking champion with 2 sides and 1 in challenger is what I want, but I'm finding it near impossible to shift Super Rares from new contender leagues. Eric says, hey, Harry, do you think it's worth aiming for second division Europe, specifically Championship, as it stays in challenges if I have a budget of 100 quid? I don't know is my honest answer. And yeah, I mean, you're only going to get like 3 months of utility out of them right now, until the end of the season in May, or 4 months or whatever it's going to be. So I don't know. Is that the play, or is it going out and getting maybe an Argentinian stack or an MLS stack maybe? I know those leagues might be, foreign to you, and that makes sense, and fair enough. I always think like the easiest thing to do is buy cards that like you know of, that's sometimes a bit of an obvious statement, but like it is true. Like if you don't care about the MLS, or you don't want to get into the MLS, then like me telling you to go buy MLS cards makes no sense. Like, you've got to look past that sometimes. What would I do with €100 budget? Squid says some very, very good value in the MLS. There probably is some really good value in the MLS for 100 quid. I definitely, I'm sure that's correct. I haven't done the research right now. I'm not tapped into the limited market, day in, day out, but I'm sure, we could get something cooking for 100 quid, I'm sure, with some of the limited prices. So, yeah, but don't forget, new MLS cards will be coming very soon, the new season cards. So, whether you want to wait for them, who knows? That there's definitely an argument to be had there. Lewis, what's going on, mate? There's definitely an argument to be had there. Ricardo says, any update on the unique usability in Super Rare Comp until April? No, I've not really heard too much. I'm pretty Feder seems to think you can, but I don't know. Jacob says he started with 100 or so yesterday, have built a in-season team of Leno, Duke, Dalot, Rice, Gordon. Not sure how it will play out, but my first ever weekend. Jacob, that's fucking so exciting, mate. And yeah, fair play for you to jump into things. And it's a fucking really good team as well. It's a really fun team to get into. I know the Premier League cards have like spiked in price right now, so fair play for you getting all that for 100 quid. That feels pretty good on paper. I don't know what you paid for them all individually, but I guess that doesn't really matter. Anyway, back to Taylor. He's finding it hard to shift new contender league. So new contender league cards. So if we go to contender and we shift by super rare. So this is contender, boys. So it's all the second division cards. Okay. I don't feel like I'm now very strong in any division, as I have strong players across all three contenders. For example, Melot is in contender. So Melot's a very good card, yeah. Whilst Bowen is in champion, so it's killed my top all-star cap teams, if that makes sense. Main question is, if you looked at my gallery today, what would you attack? Would you shift out or go harder in certain divisions? Would you sell all limiteds and just attack super rare? Something I've considered to get a little extra budget. Okay, so as far as, yeah, I mean, my first thought is, yeah, probably, I mean, selling limiteds to fund super rares doesn't make like a crazy amount of sense, because especially these ones, because like there's a lot of in-season prem cards here. I'd argue just keep them for now and trying to grind some raw ETH out of the Premier League comp. Maybe sell the cards that aren't Premier League. There's an argument for that. But I would say keeping the in-season prem cards for now is probably a good play. Definitely. And then as far as we're looking for super rares, I mean, yeah, you're clearly not. I mean, there's some good cards here. You've got obviously the Yanez, the keeper. I know he just got injured, I think, which is obviously not ideal. Shanklin's a big card. Melot's a big card. So, Alexandra and Lopez on their day are big cards in some way. Like, I do kind of like the Tenerife stack that you've got going on, to be honest. I'm not saying it's going to go out and win everything every weekend, because it won't. But, like, add a Shankland in there. Add a decent goalie like you've got. It's not like a terrible team. I'm not saying there's not much depth there, which is, a worry. Hard to get depth anywhere when your three super rare divisions have just been chopped in three, So I get it. I do get it. Let's see what we've got here. So we've got Kara, Wallison, obviously Circle of Bruges. We've got Arnaus. We have Burgess, Brooksy, Roden, Rothwell. Two Bart V friends. What's his name? Shrevers, Savile, Robert. Yeah, I mean, again, what have you got here out of a team? Really, you've got Shivas as your forward. You've got Roden. You're probably missing, if Rothwell's not nailed. Arnaus has been good, but like he's not exceptional. Kara's decent as well. Like, yeah, you've got decent mids. You've got really good defender. You've got really good forward. Goalie's solid as well. Burgess, good defender as well, to be fair. Two or three good defenders. But again, it is hard, isn't it? Like, we're only looking at like maybe one team's worth of like good cards. The rest are probably, 240 cards. So yeah, that's one thing. And then Champ. So Champ, we've got Bowen, Dunk, Pulisic. New season cards on those two, which is really nice. Veritaud, Lineheart, Mepham. Senesi. Paqueta's in there, which is big. Paqueta's a really nice card to have. Højbjerg. And obviously you got the Bournemouth boys. I mean, Teze on what? 40 something. 40. Okay, he's on 10 AA. That's fine. Thank you for that, Cam. We'll take that. It's not exceptional, but it's not terrible. Definitely not terrible, is it? Buscagli on 61. Wow. Fair play. Yeah, mate. Honestly, like, I would keep your champ cards. Personally, I would probably chop off. It's tough because like Roden Roden, I don't know. It depends if Leeds go up. Leeds are probably going to go up, aren't they? It's hard. It is hard. It's like, what do you chop off? Contenders or challengers? I know you said it's hard to shift them, and I appreciate that. Is it worth just keeping them though, David, and grinding out, because you're going to have All-Star for the next 6 months. The amount, I think that's one big thing we're all forgetting, lads, is like, maybe not forgetting, but, just point it out that we've got 6 months worth of All-Stars. We haven't got Rare Pro, fair enough, but, Dye could play his Super Rares in All-Star Super Rare for the next 6 months, until the European League finishes. So, in a weird way, like, I wouldn't make any rash decisions right now, to be honest. I'd grind with the limited Premier League cards, try and build a bit of ETH. And I would work on improving the champ team, personally. I would put your eggs in that champ basket and just have a think over the next couple of weeks. Like, would I miss this? Would I miss these contender, Tenerife boys? I know, Melot's really good right now, fair enough. But, like, would I really miss them? Shankland as well. Again, really, really good card. I would just use your Shanklands and your Melots with the other boys in All-Star and stuff. And obviously capped as well. Until March, and then obviously Cap's going to go, and you know what I'm saying. But like until between March and the end of the season, you could definitely, you can play in-season contender with these teams because they're all new season, which is big. So I wouldn't make any rash decisions, to be honest, mate. I would see how it all pans out, see how the divisions work. There's nothing to, I really don't think it's worth like rushing anything, to be honest. I really, really don't. So I hope that helps, mate. And we're going to move over to Mohammed. And he has a big long message for me. Okay. Let me have another little sip. Okay. After the announcement, I can't even speak. After the announcement, I thought about it and I think I landed on the good side of the update. Mostly have multiple collections, perfect, from each comp, both in season and classic. So we'll be getting cash/cards regularly, hopefully. Makes sense. Well, with Cap 240 going away, I did buy my rare MLS team did I buy my rare MLS team for nothing? Is my St. Louis collection good enough to compete in Champ America /Contender, or should I prioritize 240 only? I have no idea. Okay, let's have a look at that. I think that's an easy way to start things off. So we'll go scarcity, rare. Let's have a look what we got. So you've got the whole St. Louis situation, right? Which is great. I'm not expecting St. Louis to be incredible this week, this year, but I think they'll be fine. And by fine, I mean, I think this could be a nice little Cap 240 earner for you, mate, to be honest. You've got high XP on those cards, I'm going to assume. And it could be a case of fitting them into 240 every week. And if you fancy them on when they're at home, then you go maybe for the 340 cap, the target. And if if they're away and they might not have a great matchup, then you go for the lower threshold. I think going for champ, or going for it'd be champ Europe, wouldn't it? Well, yeah, / contender. With this team, I'm not saying it couldn't go and win something on a given game week, because it could. There's some good cards in here, Lowen and Klaus and whoever. There's some good cards in the St. Louis stack. Good goalie. I would argue that I think 240 is probably the play for the first few weeks, maybe, just to see how good St. Louis are playing and whatever. Try and test things out. But I don't think that's a bad idea. I wouldn't go out and sell these cards right now, personally. I would probably keep them and see what you can yield in 240. Just off the... It depends, like when we're saying, are they going to compete in contender? This wouldn't compete in D1 if we're being honest, but maybe in one of the lower divisions it might. So you have to weigh that up as well. We all have to see how that's gonna work, So yeah, Vince won the giveaway. Okay, let me send you that. I didn't claim my coins. How many coins did I win? $500 coins. Fun. Okay. What is the name of the guy that we... I can't remember the guy's name, so we're just going to have to scroll through. We're going to just have one long scroll. Eventually we'll find him. I hope. There he is. There he is. Okay. So back to gallery mode. Strategy is I will probably prioritize playing all in-season comps plus classic if I can fill it up, and rack up enough funds to buy an in-season MLS Asia collections, as I lack any in-season teams after May, June. I am prioritizing in-season because the Prem comp has had an incredible return for me. Bought Newcastle and West Ham collection for the winter comp and have returned over 30% on them alone. That's great. Any advice is greatly appreciated. Thanks for the good work. No worries, Vinny. Mad Qualler says, finally figured out what I'm going to do. Very excited to buy a Hartberg stack for contender and run Wrestling Classic comp. Sounds good. Footy for life. What's going on, mate? What is going on? Cam said, I find it impossible to get coins. I got 570 from over nearly 2 months. It just takes time, mate, to build up lineups and stuff. Got to remember, I've been playing this game for like over 3 years now, Cam, Things do take time. Yeah, so let's go. I mean, I know Mohamed has some really good quality at limited level, especially I think Mohamed's gallery, like he mentioned, is quite, it's in a position where a lot of his cards, like he has a lot of collections basically, and they're all new season. So like when the new Premier League comp, well, the Premier League comp now, but when Champion Europe or Champions region opens up, he could easily have three in-season lineups going out, which is massive because there's just so many opportunities for him to yield money, basically, and yield cash to go into other ventures and stuff. So I think you're set up perfectly, mate. You got your Dortmunds, your Real Madrid, your Napolis. You've got your Newcastle stack, West Ham as well. You have got really lucky here, mate. To be honest, fair play to you. You just have. It's as simple as that. You got your Benfica boys as well, which you've put money into. So fair play to that. You've got the St. Louis Limiteds as well. A couple of Celtic boys and Midgetland boys as well. mate, you're in a really good position, genuinely. Like, there's not much more you can do, really, as far as strengthening right now. I think it's more about just letting the teams do the business, you know, and kind of wait for it to kind of happen. So, yeah. So, yeah, Mohammed, I hope that makes sense, mate. And, yeah, definitely trial the St. Louis stack for a while. For a little bit, 100%. Footy for Life, I am only doing gallery reviews for members only, unfortunately. So if you want to become a member, you're more than welcome to. You're eligible for a gallery review tonight, and I build lineups for my members every week. So, yeah, up to you, mate. No pressure at all. But this is a perk for members only. Okay, Ian Sorare. So, your contenders only, which is nice. So we'll go over to contenders. Planning on playing with the new season cards until the end of the season, trying to build up a bit of a balance to move into Challenger as well. Wondering whether it's worth filling out the collections this season to have the most XP on cards for next season, or maybe try to pick up some better old season cards in preparation for playing classic contenders next season. Totally free to play account initially. Deposit have been withdrawn, so ideally like to keep it road to glory going. Sorry. Tongue twisted there. Well, first of all, Ian, to have a gallery like this, you know, from Road to Glory is unbelievable. Like, £160 gallery from nothing is basically really, really good. I just want to say. And, yeah, the fact you got a lot of new in-season cards from the Croatian boys, as we know, and our boy Stravets are in there, I think it's great. As far as, like, playing the new, you know, in-season comps, I think that's what you need to prioritize on. I would probably really work on, you know, getting, you know, bigger XP on some of these cards. So what we got, 9.5. What is his collection bonus, though? Let's have a look. So you got collections. You got 3% on Riker, 3% on Ozjet. Yeah, mate, I would probably try and work on nearly, like, getting to 4% on those four, to be honest. Play the matchups every week. I think that needs to be, you know, if you can, on whatever budget you're on, like, try and get to 4% on all of them. Because, you know, they're three good teams in their sort of league, as we know. And, you know, each weekend you're going to have a good matchup for one of them at least. Maybe not, you know, maybe even 2 or 3 sometimes. So being able to play three in-season contender teams will be really vital for you. And, yeah, the real RTG. Yeah, I'm an imposter, Jordan. So, yeah, I would definitely think about trying to improve the collection scores of those 3, 100%, Ian. So, yeah, 100% I would do that. And Jordan, speaking of you, George, you are up next. You are up next, mate. I am going to have a check of my phone to see how my boys are doing. And Serrano's not doing too much. He's losing a couple of duels, which is great. LaFice is on 6.5 AA, which is pretty good. We'll take that. Ooh, Fossey's gone down injured for Standard Liège, lads, if anyone has him. Ian says, it's basically all the cheaper cards I need to get on auction. I have the main parts. So, well, that's the best position to be in then, Ian. If it's the, you know, the fringe cards that you're kind of needing. I can get behind that, 100%. Okay, Jordan, I want to play contender for the rest of the season in Limited. Did I see what happened? No, what happened? What happened in the game? All I'm seeing is somebody got sent off, gave away a penalty. I see River and I'm happy. Let's go. What's going on, mate? What's going on? Yeah, we do have a bit of River in here. So I've got a couple hundred to put in over the next few months. In the next couple of weeks. And I would like to know if I should buy a Liverpool stack / collection for the last part of the season, or wait until the new season cards come out. I watch every Liverpool game and I have no cards and want some feeling of FOMO at them, and I have some feeling of FOMO at the moment. Sorry, George. I feel like I've got a strong enough gallery to compete in contender for the rest of the season. If you think otherwise, let me know. Or have I got too many cards for contender and possibly look to offload a few and put money towards Liverpool cards? Okay, let's go into contender. So obviously, you know, you can play 3 in season, 3 out of season. So you're gonna need. Well, you don't need to play all 6, but you know what I mean. You could play all 6 if you really wanted to. Let's go from high to low. Isco, it's your fault. So the River Boys, Brunetta, Vicente, Cabal. I mean, I think when we did the gallery review last time, Jordan, you really sort of nailed in some of these second division players. Colombato, you've got some really good cards in there. Silla, and some of them are new season as well, which is going to help for the mode. So, I mean, just kind of brushing through these, I can't see how you don't have three classic contenders, and then you could probably push one or two new in season. I would argue maybe quite comfortably. You're probably looking at 4 or 5 good lineups, aren't you? Really, in contender. I mean, you're probably going to need the depth. Is probably what I would argue as well. So I probably wouldn't trim anything down. And as far as Liverpool goes, George, if you are a fucking Liverpool fan and stuff, like, there's no better feeling than buying the cards of the team you support. And like, as a person that hasn't really felt that because I don't support anyone apart from Wales, I had that feeling when I bought the custom series cards that don't do anything. But like, if you support Liverpool, mate, and you want a Liverpool collection, I think at the end of the day, you just got to go out and do it. Like, you're going to need exposure. You're going to probably want exposure to champ as well. Not everyone's going to need that, but if you've got the money to do it, I think it makes sense to do that. And like you said, you're feeling a bit of FOMO with it. And if that's how you're feeling, mate, then at the end of the day, I think you've got to act on that. That's genuinely how I think it should be. You're strong enough at contender. I think that sort of pays itself, and you don't really need to do much there. I think it's a case of really, going in and buying what you want. That's what this game should be about. It shouldn't always be about fucking winning everything. I know winning's great, and I get it. But, like, go and buy the card you want, mate. There's a feeling of winning in that, if that makes sense. Even though you're paying for that feeling. I know that might sound a bit stupid, but, I hope that kind of makes sense. And, yeah, you should 100% do that. And I probably I wouldn't cut down on the limited you have, mate. I think go out and, gradually buy that Liverpool collection now. And work towards that Premier League stuff. I mean, I know it's tricky right now because the Premier League cards are quite high. So, you do have to get a Calidio to complete the River stack. Yeah, that feels like something we need to do, isn't it, Isco? How are we looking? Does he have a Calidio? I don't think he does he? Where's he to? There he is, Calidio, 18 quid. Whew. Borgia as well. Borgia might be a decent card that you probably want to get hold of, no? Like, are you missing like a real? I know you've got Brunetta Avenue, Brunetta forward, but I'd argue maybe getting in one of those two. I know Isco's going to know a bit more than me, but I'm going to argue that those two are the ones that are scoring goals most of the time, apart from now and again when Calidio doesn't fancy it. So yeah, that could be a decent little shout, to be honest. Okay, Die Rich. Jordan, obviously, any questions, let me know. I'm just doing something for Laird a minute, lads. 2 seconds. Rondon's at River? Yeah, I think he was at River. No, that was last year, Alex, I think. Well, it was. Pretty sure that was last year. Okay. Die Rich. Let's go. Goal is to continue to progress into rare. I have some MLS rares to hopefully play through the summer, but want some advice on where I need to continue to build the gallery out. Wait there. Sorry, we have a notification. Oh, PSV scored, but it was disallowed. Does anyone know who scored it? Ooh, did Teze get another? No, he didn't. I thought he got a double-double. Jordan says, I like the sound of that, mate. I'll grab one later. Sounds good, mate. Sounds good, Jordan. Okay, Rich. I want to continue to progress into rare. I have some MLS rares, so hopefully play through the summer, but want some advice on where I need to continue to build out the gallery. Okay. Sorry, I had to send Led something. Laird chopping into my streaming time. How dare you, Mr. Andrew. Okay. Let's have a look at what rares we got cooking then. What have we got going on? I think we're doing pretty well for time, by the way, lads. I feel like we're like almost halfway through, and we're only an hour and a half in. I feel like this is not going to be as crazy as we thought it would be. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I've, spoken too soon there, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Die Rich. Who have we got going on then? We've got Andy Polo in there. I think we've got some Austin boys, have we? Yeah, Stuva, Danny Pereira, lovely. Okay, yeah, so we definitely need... Oh, we don't definitely need it, but... As far as, like, where do they fit, I guess, Challenger... So you got Brooks Lennon in there, Alex Ring, Jada O'Brien. I think Jada O'Brien moved to Austin, didn't he? Yeah. You got 1, 2, 3. I mean, Di did also send me something else. Let me check what Di sent me. Ahead of the gallery review, I'd show you my breakdown on my rares across the champ. Have around £120 to add to the gallery. Look forward to hearing your views. Okay, so... I'm looking at, I'm not going to show you because it's on Discord, but like you guys on the screen, but I'm looking at what Di Rich has sent me as a little screenshot of his champ, challenger, and contender cards at rare level. So in champ, he's got Hermoso and Brennan Johnson as his rares. Backup John Stones, Nico Williams, Mepham, Davis Wilson. Challenger, you've obviously got the MLS boys, so Stuva, Lennon, you've got Ring, O'Brien. Okay. And then contenders, Marshall McGinn, Polo, Patton, Vente. Okay. Sorry, another notification. PSV 2-0. Sorry, Di. Has De Jong scored? De Jong's had 4 shots on target, by the way. 4 shots. Crazy. So yeah, I think from what I'm seeing there, Di, as far as like what you've got going on, you're obviously strongest in Challenger, obviously. Could it be a good, like I know it's going to be hard to get rid of the Welsh boys, so that's not something I don't think you're going to want to do. But Scagli has just scored, by the way, lads. So there's another massive, another 100 coming out of PSV. Like players like Hermoso, like are you gonna do you need a Hermoso realistically? Like I know Johnson, like you're not gonna want to get rid of your rare Welsh boys. I get that. So listen, like we're not gonna pretend we're gonna get rid of a Brennan Johnson, but like Hermoso, Stones, like do we really need those players realistically? I would probably argue you don't. Malik Tillman with the assist, by the way, lads. I'd probably argue you kind of don't need them. Whereas like I'd probably continue like trying to get stronger at a challenger. And then with your contender cards, like your Marshalls and stuff, Marshall McGinn, like that kind of lineup, I would say play 240 with that. And then maybe with your challenger boys, go out and play challenger and try and see, what your boys can do in Division 3, Division 4, whatever you get placed in, Excuse me, I definitely think there's merit in that. Silicon Rare was listed for £99. Wow. Back to the original question. I have some MLS rares, but hopefully, want some advice. So yeah, I definitely think you should continue building out the MLS side of things, Di, to be honest. And I would think about maybe moving on some of your champion, like rare cards, like your John Stoneses and stuff of the world. Like, do you really need that type of cards? Really? Like, the chances of going out and playing a champ team realistically is quite unlikely for you in this moment with the budget that you're looking to invest, like 120 or whatever. I think I would just go into MLS a little bit stronger maybe, and move between. If you think you're gonna have a bit of an off week, then maybe you just go into Cap 240 for that week for 6 months. But if you think you got a good chance in contender with the MLS boys, then go in and maybe try your luck in there. And then if you're doing that, then obviously you're moving your contender boys like your David Marshalls or whatever for until the end of the season into Cap 240. But yeah, I wouldn't really look to strengthen. Yeah, like the contender boys. Obviously, Marshall might retire. Maybe he's like 38 or whatever he is. So yeah, it's one of them where I'd probably really try and buy some better MLS rares. On the whole, to kind of just strengthen out this MLS rig that you've got going on, because you've got a good foundation, and I think you do need to just build at it to get it where you probably want it to go. Like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I'm not looking to tell you exactly what cards you're going to need. That's not really the point of this. It's more where do you need to focus your energy. But like as far as your limiteds go, if we go into limited, I know you've got some really good limiteds. Like as far as champ limiteds go, I know you've got some really good cards there. Obviously got the Liverpool collection as well, which is obviously going to help. You've got Alisson, Jude. You obviously won your Jude, which was massive. Salah, Trent. You're pretty set at a champ, I would say, to play like 1 or 2 really good lineups, maybe even 3 sometimes. And then as far as challengers go, we've got Blake, Brady, Layson, Nice, Gillespie. Few good goalies there. Roden, Doyle, Robinson, Kai Wagner, perfect. You got some really nice MLS depth in defense. Desart, Puig, Morris. Yeah, you're looking really good for mids. In challenger, Berghuis, Stan James, Carranza. Yeah, I mean I can get behind a lot of them at forward, and then what we're looking at a contender. Like unless you're getting like massive. Oh, that's annoying. Well, Madsen scored for Westerlo, so no clean sheet for Liège, and Southampton are 1-0 up, by the way. And then what we got forward: Shankland, Aguirre, Stravetza, lovely. Maeda, Van Veen, decent forwards. Duke, Abada. I can see that working. Andy Polo. Maybe missing Manu Fuster. You got some okay mids. Joe Newell. Could be scoped to maybe get a nice little, maybe more couple of midfielders in contender potentially. Like if you are still looking to really play that at limited, I think that could work. Frankie Kent, Taylor. Yeah, we've got probably enough depth at defender. Potentially. Definitely enough goalies. I'd say maybe a midfielder or 2 or a defender or 2 in contender to really some higher end contender cards to really bolster out that. But hope that makes sense for you, Di. And any questions? Obviously, you feel free to message me. Next up, we've got Drakester, who he's editing this stream after looking at some of the other people's reviews. I'm really not sure what I want to do, which I wasn't really sure before. I love the under 23 comp. Something's happened. Oh no, nothing's happened. Sorry, I'm just having a little scroll. Leon are 1-0 up already. Oriel Mangala on his debut. Madsen as my captain, getting me a goal for under 23 limited lads up the road to glory. Keep up the great content. Thank you, Footy for Life. I do really appreciate that, mate. Just reading back on Drake's situation. I love the under 23 comp, and that's why I want to play in the future. Oh, that's what I want to play in the future. Sorry. I bought some MLS rares a little while ago and wanted to go into Cap 240 to build out some cash to further invest into under 23s. I'm a Chelsea and Charlotte fan and also collect Strasbourg players because of the same people technically own them in Chelsea. Mainly just wondering if I should use the $100 or so I have left to try and play 240 rare and build up some cash, or just sell them and try buy limiteds to fit the comps I want to play. Interesting. So obviously between now and August, you can only play one under 23 comp. I think that should be definitely like noted on. And obviously after that, you can play 3. As far as rares, Drake, let's have a look what you got going on. So we've got Sands, Capetti, Kalina, Romney, Westwood. I mean, obviously, there's not much depth there right now. But I think, opening day of the MLS season, whether that's next weekend, basically, isn't it? Go and field this team, see what happens with it. Like, I wouldn't go and sell it yet, if that makes sense. Like, go and see what happens. If you're really close to a threshold or you hit a threshold, then great. Maybe add to it then. But like, just go in with, just not many expectations. Just see what this team can actually do for you for a bit. I wouldn't go and rush and do anything drastic right now. You've set out a strategy of building a 240 lineup. That doesn't have to change for 6 months, really, does it, Drake? Like, I know the threshold's different now, and it's not as great, fair enough, but there's still a reason to still play it, like there is. And, you can still get a half-decent return from it. With the amount you've paid for these cards, you're looking at what? 50 quid, 120, 300, 330, 360. Winning 5 thresholds is like, what's that? 20% of your outlay, the 360. So like, there's 4 thresholds you're asking for there, or 5 or whatever. Like, you're not asking for too much, and that's the lower threshold. That's like the $15 I'm on about. So, I wouldn't do anything drastic right now. I would do what you kind of said. Play these guys in 240 for a bit. See how it all transpires. If you're really struggling and you just don't think it's going to work, then you sell them up and you do go into limiteds and go harder into limiteds. That would be my suggestion. I'd keep that 100 balance for now. See how it sort of pans out, with the first week or so. If you do need to, like, if you think, Capetti might not play or whatever, then, go out and buy a rare for the first weekend. If you think you're, a little bit short somewhere, then fine. But you look pretty set to me right now. And yeah, that's kind of my sort of take on it, to be honest. So yeah, like I said, any questions, as always, lads. Blood Viper is up next. Mohammed. So I'm just going to check my scores on the doors quickly. Ooh, Des got brought off at 60th minute, but he was on a 40 AA already, which is obviously great. Veerman's on 100 and Buscagli's on 100, lads. And De Jong's on 86. This helps me a lot, honestly. Wasn't sure if it was still a good, viable strategy. Like, that's the thing, Drake. We don't know if it's a good strategy until we fucking try, Like, that is it. It's trial and error, this game. Life is trial and error. If we want to go, like, a bit more philosophical, You do have to just try things first. And if they don't work, then fucking, we go to plan B. But let's just go with plan A first and see how we can get that going. Okay. Mohammed. I don't know why I'm in your lineup builder. Okay, want to focus only on the Premier League and La Liga Classic and in-season comps. Perfect. I have some good cards from Prem, and by the end of April, we'll slowly build a Real Madrid stack without Jude. Right now, do I need to buy any Premier League players? And also, is it best to move forward with a limited Real Madrid stack for next season, or do you look at any other teams? Okay, we'll have a look at your Prem stuff first. Bruno, Emmy, Pickford, great 2 goalies there. Van Dijk, Ollie Watkins, Gordon, Luiz, Bernie Silva, Porro obviously injured right now, which is annoying. Paqueta, nice. Cunha, Gibbs, White. I would argue we're probably missing like, I'm not saying you haven't got good forwards. Like, Ollie Watkins is good objectively, so is Gordon. And so is Cunha. Obviously, Cunha's great, but now he's injured, could be really, really tricky. I'd argue maybe like you're missing a forward maybe from like one of the better teams in the league, if that makes any sense. Like your top 4s, potentially. Bruno's obviously a standout, so is Luiz. Bernie Silva is usable now and again. Missing some Arsenal players. Isco says, yeah, that feels... I was going to say, like, that kind of... you probably don't want a Martinelli, if that makes sense, because he's not scoring very well. Neither's Jesus. That's the issue with Arsenal. Like, they don't have a forward that's scoring that well. But I agree. There's definitely scope for some Arsenal players in here. Paqueta, when he's back from injury, fair enough. I'd say you're probably fine for midfielders for now. Defense, Van Dijk's great. Obviously, Porro being out for a few weeks, I've heard, is not good, obviously. Sure, Kanji. I would argue you definitely need a defender or two. 100%. Whether that's, whoever from Arsenal, potentially. Yeah, I definitely say you're in need of a defender 100%. Julian Alvarez, yeah, that could work. I think you're fine at goalie. Trossard is cheap. Yeah, Trossard's relatively cheap. It's just whether or not he keeps his place is the issue with that. So I would definitely say you need a defender, 100%. I'd argue maybe another forward as well. Midfield, I think you can get away with, to be honest. You can probably get away with just about. If you're fielding like 2 teams every game week or whatever, you've probably got enough. I have Diaz and he's not showing. Oh, that's annoying. That's weird. Oh, there he is. Sorry. I don't know why he's down there. Sorry, Mohamed. I don't know why he was hiding down there. Okay, that changes things a little bit, mate, to be fair. Diaz definitely adds to that. But I still would argue again, if you've got 2 lineups going out, you probably do need, another defender at least, I would say. Yeah, that's just sort of my opinion on it. Hope that makes sense, mates. Okay, Lafise is doing a little bit better now for me, lads, which is fun. Villarreal are already losing, by the way, to Getafe. Villarreal right now are fucking really bad. They're in a bad way. Getting Cuckoo maybe, but that's a risk, I think, football. Like, he's a good player, but you need people that you can really rely on. I don't know if you can rely on an Nkunku personally. I really don't. So yeah, one more defender. I'd say one more forward, definitely. And then, what was the other question? The Real Madrid stack. I mean, yeah, the issue is, like, is there much point buying a Real Madrid stack now? I guess, you can obviously play them in the in-season Champion Europe or Champions comp that's going to come in at the end of April. But you've only got like 7 game weeks of that. I'd argue it could be more optimal to save up your money and do it next year. Oh, Lafise has just scored, lads. Oh my God, I've captained him in my All-Star Super Rare team. Woo-hoo! Sorry, that's a bit off topic, lads, but I need to show you. Sorry, Mohamed. This is big news. I captained him in All-Star Super. Look at this. Come on, the boy. I'm annoyed I didn't play his rare now. Militao have just scored as well, by the way. So if this Zaidu Yusuf has just scored, we are flying. I don't think it will be. Zaidu never scores. But it could be my lucky night. No, it wasn't Zaidu. Of course it wasn't Zaidu. Zinchenko defender card is a cheat code. It can be Isco, but he doesn't really play right now, is the issue. If Zaidu's got this assist, by the way, for Militao, we are flying. Callie says, evening lads, just finished work, so missed the stream. That's okay, Callie, no worries at all, mate. Glad you can make it now. Mate. Imagine if Zaidu Yusuf has got this assist, by the way. We would be absolutely flying. I don't think he does. That's fine. I got a bit carried away there, lads. I can't believe I didn't play my Lafise rare card. I'm such an idiot. I just bought the 1 of 100 as well. Bolak clean sheet's gone. Sorry to hear it, mate. Big Lafise had bigger plans. Yeah, there was rumours he was going to move to Dynamo, so I was like, fuck it, I'm buying his rare as well. So I bought the 1 of 100 for like 20 quid. And now he's going for like 4 quid, which is mental. Like, this card scores so well. I know he's like have a look at this guy's scores, lads. How is that a £4 card? Please explain that to me. No, he didn't get the assist. That's fine. Sorry, lads. But yeah, as far as, we kind of mentioned the situation. But yeah, Real Madrid, part of me feels like if you're not going to buy Jude and stuff right now, maybe do you wait? Like, there's no point buying an in-season like Real Madrid stack, really. Because you're only going to have like 7 weeks. 7 weeks of like in-seasonness. And if you don't care about that, then fine. It is an interesting one. 3 hour shift from Harry. Yeah, it could be a long one, Johnny. It could be a long one. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it, Mohammed. Maybe wait on the Real Madrid. Having a Real Madrid stack is a good idea. Like, it's never a bad idea. But like, is it worth waiting? Maybe I don't know. That's something maybe we need to address. Maybe further on down the line. I would say, mate. Maybe next month, the month after. Like, I don't know if we need to rush into that one. I think, yeah, nailing the Premier League stuff first and getting really good at the Premier League comp and winning things there is probably the first priority. Not in old season. Not in season, old season. Right, but like you'd want to, like, you would be buying like the season right now that's on auction, right? Like, if the problem is, like, to get a Real Madrid stack, if you're not buying them off auction, you're not going to get good collection points, really, are you? Like, it's just very hard to work up a massive collection point balance. So, do you get what I'm saying? Like, you would end up buying the Real Madrid cards from this season, really, wouldn't you? Otherwise, there's no point really doing it. I don't think. It's just hard to get good collection scores on cards. If you're not buying the new, like, the in-season card right now. You can do it, but it's just really hard. You know what I mean? So yeah, hope that helps. I am going to go back and see what my lineups are looking like. Or my players even. Tesley's on a 61. I would like that to be a bit higher personally. If we can. I mean, Veerman and Buscagli scoring 100s. You might as well like wipe away this game week already. Lafise is absolutely smashing. And Zaidu's on 3 AA. 2 tackles, 1 already though. That's big. Having the 2 tackles already is a very, very nice start. Okay, me SSV. Not really sure on my goals. Had a small 240 team, which I decided to move on after the announcement because it was a new season Bournemouth stack and they increased in values. Makes sense. So we withdrew some money and invested it in a few stacks collections. What do you think my goals should be? Do you think is it worth buying another champ? Probably La Liga stack for of 23-24 season cards to compete in the in-season comp, running from March until August, and after that using it in the special classic comp. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. Me SSV, as far as buying a La Liga stack, we're basically talking about the same thing again, Mohammed, aren't we? Like, it's the same question, realistically. Remember, me SSV, like, the comp is only going to run from March until May, on paper. Like, the in-season La Liga cards are going to have like 7 game weeks, basically, from 1st of April to like the end of May. Like, that is when the in-season champions slot for your La Liga cards will happen, So, kind of remember that. Like, if you are buying these new Real Madrid or any La Liga collection, it is for the sake of the in-seasonness of it. Remember, you're only going to get 7 game weeks out of it, basically, in the Champions in season. April 1st to the end of May. That's when the league finishes, right? So definitely think about that. I'm not saying it's a terrible idea, because then you can use those cards in the off season, when the new league comes back around in August. Like, they're still usable, but just remember that they might lose a bit of value because their in-seasonness is only 7 weeks long. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's have a look at what you've actually got going on. So there's a full limited gallery. We've got some MLS boys in here. Guyton Cook. I mean, from the offset, I'm not seeing any champ cards. So I definitely think you don't need a footprint in champ, but if you've got a relatively decent, okay, I guess you've got Gladbach cards, so you do have somewhat of a champ footprint, but obviously it looks like it's Bundesliga. Yeah, mainly Bundes. Oh yeah, so you've got a Gladbach collection. Yeah, I would probably argue, you are probably, yeah, in favour to get some sort of La Liga situation going on here. Like, I'm not opposed to it, but just remember you are only going to get like 7 weeks worth of those like in-seasonness of those cards, right? Luke De Jong and Veerman were just taken off. Van Arnold came on and Maro Jr. Inter are 2-0 up. Martinez and Thuram, goal each. Okay. Worth buying another. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea, me SSV, to be honest. But look, like Real Madrid, yeah, maybe even a Girona potentially. Like, and always remember though, lads, like one big word of warning in general, and this maybe don't apply to like the big teams like your Man Cities and stuff, but like, not every team that's good this year will be good next year. Just as a blanket statement. So if you are buying a stack for now, and they're good maybe to the end of the season, but next season happens, Savio moves to Man City and whatever, Girona look like a completely different team. There is that you have to take into account sometimes. Like, I've bought a bit of a Girona stack myself. Like, I'm kind of talking to myself there as well. But do you get what I'm saying? There's definitely something to think about there. So yeah, me SSV, I hope that helps, mate. And yeah, any questions, obviously let me know. Okay, Cameron. Morley Media, the main man. Okay. Cameron wants to prepare himself to aim for 340 every week and maybe enter another comp when I have very favourable fixtures. Also would like to maybe trim down my gallery in the future with cat modes going. I have no plans to move scarcity yet. I don't know what comps to aim for at the moment. Milan Smith, yeah, where's he from, Johnny? I don't even know who he plays for, if I'm being honest, mate. Let me know. How should I prepare to get my desired in-season cards in the future? Should I sell half my gallery to fund them from buying on the secondary market auction, or should I aim to win them from the classic comps? Should I try and build a contender team? I don't understand what competitions there will be for my 25 challenger cards. Can I play all of them? Not sure about goalkeepers with Babacan. Yeah, Cam. I mean, at the gallery size that you have, it's very hard to want to do, multiple things at the end of the day. That's just a fact. Because, like, you got to think about it. If you're aiming for 340 every weekend and you win it, I'm not saying you will every weekend, but let's say you win it once. That's basically like 8% of your gallery value in one weekend, like as a yield. Like, that's ridiculous if you think about it, Like, if you're winning $8 from hitting the 340, like, that is massive. I think sometimes we're all guilty of it. We think we can run before we can sort of crawl or walk. And I think sometimes we need to slow down a bit and realize that, what the game is in front of us. I know threshold's not going to be sustainable, after August. It's not going to exist. Fair enough. But for the now, if you're able to if you're like in a position where you can aim for 340 every weekend and hit it now and again, being able to, get 8 or 6 to 8% on your gallery value in a weekend is mental, really, isn't it? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, at this level of gallery, as a £70 gallery, I don't think there's much you should be really doing outside of trying to hit that threshold as easy, as frequent as you can. You've obviously got a lot of new season cards, which is great. I think on certain game weeks you can play the in season, like when April comes around. If Go Ahead have a really good matchup, then go into contenders and go and play the in season contenders, and try and win some cash that way for the the however many game weeks there is until the end of May. Like, again, it'd be similar to the La Liga situation, 6 or 7 game weeks maybe. There's not much you'll be able to get in there. So I really do think it's a case of nailing down the threshold as much as you can, and really you don't have to go for the 340 every weekend. I know you said you want to try and do that, but it's not always going to be possible. Like, it's only going to be possible on those game weeks where the stars align and you've got really good matchups across the board and most people are at home. Do you get what I'm saying? Should you try and build a contender team? You already have contender teams, don't you? Well, I guess you don't, because you have, so Go Ahead and yeah, you have Eredivisie basically, don't you? And Turkey, so you are all in Challenger. I wouldn't bother really going in and getting a contender teammate, if I'm being honest. I would concentrate on getting stronger and stronger in Challenger and kind of building it out that way. You know, go from one lineup to two lineups to three. Like when we talk about progression now, that's all changed as far as, you know, before you play multiple competitions or multiple regions or whatever. Now I think it's playing multiple lineups in the same competition. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm getting at with that. But yeah, as far as, yeah, should I prepare for my desired in-season cards in the future? I mean, yeah, it's not a sustainable way of doing it, like by selling half your gallery all the time, and not all the time, but whenever, and trying to get these new season cards. At this level, like when you're only, you know, you're playing with 70 odd pounds, like it's very hard to just sell half your gallery and just buy new in-season cards, because you're going to be losing a lot of value in the in-seasonness of those cards. Like you're going to be paying a premium on those in-season cards, and they might not even be doing that much for you because you're just not able to utilize them correctly. You know, like it comes to a point where like you do have to put money into this game most of the time. I know, you know, Ian did a Road to Glory and he's up to 170 quid. That's not going to happen for everyone, unfortunately, Cam. I'm not saying that's not going to happen for you, but like, you know, you do have to think about having to. I'm not saying you won't want to put money in, but you get what I'm saying. You know, you do have to fund these accounts most of the time if you want to progress. Like this game wouldn't exist if if everyone was able to just progress without putting any more money in. You know, it's as simple as that. Golden said, would you say it's a good idea to wait until the season runs out and price drop and then move into all-season champ cards? Yeah, I mean, that feels like the move. But when everyone does the same thing, golden gold, you know, prices end up rising because everyone's interested in those cards, right? So, yeah, there is something to kind of say about that for sure. But I don't know if it's going to be the most optimal thing, to be honest. Teze on 63. Still want a little bit more out of you, mate. I would like a tad bit more out of you. Into 3-0 up at halftime. Okay. Cam, I hope that makes sense, mate. And Juju is up next. Sorare, Juju. Okay, goals for August. You want 3 rare classic then contender teams. Okay. I'm currently working on the 3 contender teams and like to have 3 goalkeepers, 6 defenders, 4 mids, 4 forwards. Which mainly contended players from the Austrian Bundesliga. Which mainly contend players from the Austrian Bundesliga and Bundes 2. What do you think about this structure? Any comments on the players are also welcome. Additionally, I would like to know if you have any ideas on where to move next. I'm open to almost every league and wonder if you see any opportunities to get an edge from other competitions, i.e. hidden gem team, cheaper league, etc. Information only. Players to leave. You've got Koz, Hadranovic. Players to add. Ryman, Julian Green. Limited can be ignored. We'll stay as it is. Okay. So let's have a look at what we got going on then in contenders. Isco says, have a go with old season with that budget. Yeah. Alex says, is there still rewards for the scarcity above next season, assuming it would only be 1 division? Yeah, you get, in the reward boxes, you can, like, if you're in the rare division, you can win super rares. If you're in the limited, you can win rares. In the reward boxes. Okay, so 3 goalies. Okay, 3 goalies there. You said you're getting rid of Koz. Oh no, you don't have Koz Super. You got, yeah, okay, I got you. So Koz will be going. So I guess you're gonna have 2 goalies, right? Would that make sense, Juju? For now. You said 6 defenders. I like how you've got a couple of stacks going on there. That makes sense. I can kind of get behind that. It's crazy how cheap these rare cards are, by the way. Tavernier, really nice. Holtby, okay. Hovrat. And then we've got 4 strikers. Fitz, really nice. Very nice. And then results. Okay. Additional. I will. Yeah, I will be buying Ryman for Magdeburg. Okay, I got you. I got you. Kennedy! How are we, my friend? I'm doing very well, thank you, pal. Ramalho's on 95, by the way. PSV stacks have absolutely rinsed it this game week. Benitez, clean sheet. Ramalho, Boscagli, 95 and 100. Veerman, 100. De Jong, 90. PSV stacks literally won everything already. Simple as. It's done, lads. It is done. Game week's over. Oh, Jesus. My Franco Serrano's just... He's created 2 big chances. And we've not got anything from it. What are we doing, lads? Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Ben, what's going on, mate? I'm doing well, thank you, pal. Just doing some gallery reviews. Going pretty well so far. Making some good time, I think. But yeah, Juju, I mean, yeah, obviously you said you're going to add that other goalie. Again, when you said like ideas of what you wanted, like where to move next, I don't think you should move in the sense of like you should just be nailing your contender teams and making those 15 cards, as strong as possible every week, because those are your yielders at the end of the day. Those are the cards that are going to win you cash or new in-season cards, you know? Like, that should be where you're sort of, putting your energy, rather than, like, trying to, seek anything else out. I know maybe from what you said, you didn't mean, like, moved across to Challenger or Champ or whatever. I think being really good at contender has to be the plan, you know? Finding those best Austrian teams that have the best, you know, forwards, the Dominic Fitz of the world, that those sort of gems in that sense. You know, it obviously seems like you're following the Austrian league quite heavily, which is great. And that Bakayoko is out. Yeah, I can't believe that. That was so frustrating. So frustrating. But yeah, I would be doubling down on this sort of region, you know. I think that just makes the most sense. I think PSV haven't won the Prem Comp. That is very true, Con, because I'm going to win the fucking Prem Comp, mate. No Allison, baby. No Allison. No Allison. There's a party for me, but people who have Allison, obviously, no Allison, no party. But, so buying more quality players. Yeah, genuinely, Juju, that needs to be it. That is the progression right now. It's buying more good cards in the division you're in already, or the region, you know. That needs to be the play, I think. I don't think anything else makes sense. Like, there's no point having cards in a region that aren't doing anything for you now. You know, they need to be yielding at some point. It doesn't have to be every week, but, you know, when you get the stack right the one week and the right card sort of configuration, then it bangs. You know, that needs to be the plan, I think. And yeah, obviously I know the Austrian League's a bit funky with its with how it finishes and starts, as far as things like that go with the winter breaks, or maybe, you know, think about a league that doesn't do that in contender, you know, from a European standpoint. SPFL maybe. You know, I know Laird doesn't like that league, but I'm only joking. Laird, don't kill me. But you know what I mean? Like, try and do something that when your Austrian boys aren't playing, you're going to need exposure elsewhere, you know? So maybe SPFL, cheap league, people always disregard that league. But there is, obviously, you got your Celtics in there. There's definitely ways of winning in there. Hearts can definitely pop off in a certain game week. I think there's definitely reasons to be looking in those contender leagues, 100%. I was just looking here, filtered by league. Need to work on that. Yeah, my problem is I hate not having a card in a game week. Exactly. So you want to be in a situation where you've always got something going on, you know. PSV game finish, lads. Ooh, Teze finish on 67. That's pretty tasty. I can live with that. 67 from my Teze. Very, very happy with that. Got me 84 points as a super rare. Not a bad lineup. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's not an unbelievable score, but it's good enough. It's respectable. Very respectable. Okay. So I hope that makes sense, Juju. Obviously, we'll work on that, month by month. But that's kind of the thought process I'd be looking at. Like, maybe, stray away from Austria for a bit, go into another league, and then prepare for August that way. Whether that's SPFL, whether that's, name your sort of European league, Bundes 2, French 2. There's definitely loads of little, things to work on there. So I hope that makes sense, mate. And like I said, obviously, we've got this monthly. Like, it's not as if it's a one and done, unless obviously you don't want to be a member next month, and that's fine. But I obviously want you to be a member, mate. So yeah, we'll get back next month, and we can kind of shoot the shit that way. Sorry, Liz just sent me another message. Was Teze the only PSV player not to get 100? Basically, Nick, yeah. That seems like how it goes for my Teze. To be fair, the last 2 games he has been good, so I can't really fault him. But before that, he's been absolutely shit for me. So I'm just happy that he's green for a bit. Silva hates him, would never pass him the ball. David Taylor, what's going on, mate? I did do your do your gallery, sorry, as well, mate. So yeah, we had a good little chat about that. So I'm just. Okay, Rizzle. Long-term goals, under 23 focus. I am wanting to get into rare, but I don't know what to do right now. Okay. Maybe sell a few of my cards and get some rares over the off-season and try to win new in-season cards when they come out. Maybe you could say who you would recommend I get rid of my gallery to fund that. So, this is like, I'm not shooting down your aspiration of wanting to play rare, but I really think the goal of a limited gallery of this size is to keep being good at limited, I don't know if it makes sense, Rizzle, to kind of sell out of cards. Like, you've got good cards, keep using these cards to do good things with them and keep winning, or to continue or try and win or whatever, You've got some really good in-season cards here that should become quite useful over these next couple of months now when we go into the new in-season comps. Obviously, you've got Premier League cards in here as well. I think you really need to I think it's a thing now where I know everyone wants to move up most of the time. But, like, again, I just don't think it makes sense. Become, a master of one trade, or, whatever the saying is. You want to be a master at one trade and not like a... What's the analogy, lads? What's the saying? I can't think of what it is right now. But you know what I'm getting at. Like, you want to be really good at limited rather than being, like, just working your way up to rare, to where that is diluting your limiteds. I think that's where it gets a bit tricky. So, like, I think you should really just double down on limiteds. That's not me saying go out and buy loads more limited. You've got some really good depth already. Jack of all trades. Sorry, Al. Thank you for that. Do you get what I'm saying? Jack of all trades, master of none is obviously the saying, I think. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you really need to just nail down being good at limited. All your eggs in one basket. Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it, isn't it? Like, I do think having your eggs in the limited basket right now as a limited player is what you should be doing. Master of one trade, not a jack of all trades. Regardless. You get the point. And, like, yeah, it's just a case of, like, really being good at what you've got right now. Make that work. If the limiteds aren't working for you, you shouldn't even be thinking about the scarcity of rare. You need to be, I'm not saying it's not working for you, but, going forward, Premier League comp, like, you need to be yielding on a nice basis to where you can, if you want, sell those limiteds and turn those into rares, maybe. But I just think the jump up is quite drastic, realistically. And it doesn't make sense to go out and buy, like, a threshold team for 6 months right now, in my opinion. Like, unless you've already got the pieces already. Obviously, you don't have the rares now. I just don't think it makes sense, mate. And I'm not saying go out and buy more limiteds right now, but I would use what you have, because you have some really good cards to see what they can do for you for a bit. That is it for me. I wouldn't look to get rid of cards because you have the good cards right now at limited. Don't sell them really to go up to rare where you're not going to have the same quality of cards. You know what I mean? You're not going to have the Suns and Brunos and Trubins up in rare. You're not. Simple as. So Rizzle, I hope that makes sense for you, mate. Obviously, we can chat about it, but that's kind of my initial thoughts on everything there. We've got Scott up next then. He wants to play Contender due to Celtic collection and then thinking Bundesliga with their when their league specific comes. So that doesn't come until August, by the way. Scott. Thinking mainly will be Contender Gallery with Celtic and my second division cards. Currently picking up a River Plate collection. Isco will love to see that. Also to carry through the summer. I'm a Dortmund fan, so we'll look to play the Dortmund collection and some single cards in the Bundesliga specific comps. Just your overall thoughts on the gallery and plan. Especially like to hear your thoughts on going for a current in-season River collection, as I know they'll be out of season for August time potentially. For information, I am selling up the last of my rares currently. Cheers for Harry, best in the business. I appreciate that. So yeah, I can see you've only got 8 cards left at rare. Just having a look at what they are. I mean, a River collection can't be a bad thing, can it, Isco? Like, you're going to vouch for that. It's not a bad thing right now to have a River collection at the end of the day. What we got here? 30 quid, 40, 50, 60. Yeah, we've got like £60 worth of rares probably here, maybe. Which obviously, you know, will help to fund that River collection, or improve it. What is it on? It's on 3% right now. Let's have a look who you could add. Enzo Perez. You've got to get Enzo Perez in there. I think getting a Dela Cruz isn't a bad idea. I know he plays in Brazil, so obviously you wouldn't be able to play him with the River boys. I built my gallery thanks to River. Exactly. River have done a lot of good things to a lot of good galleries in this game. Yeah, maybe a Borgia, potentially. Ignacio Fernandez, what would you say? I know you don't really love him, Isco, but would you argue that there could be scope to get maybe one of him in? Boselli, potentially, as well. One of the guys in my WhatsApp. Look at that. That is an absolute killer. Fuck. Absolute killer. So yeah, there's definitely scope to get a few of these River boys in. We'll be getting up to 5% in the next few days, hopefully. That's perfect stuff, Scott. Love to hear that. But yeah, just looking through. I mean, Dortmund collection's at 5%. That's perfect. Celtic at 5%. I love to see that. Couple at 3%, which is really nice. But yeah, the Bundesliga specific comms won't start until August. So like, yeah, you'll obviously play your Dortmund. Your Dortmund collection will be out of season next year, which is obvious. But not a bad collection to have, is it? At 5% as well. And over that time, we'll carry over. Isco says, yeah, Nacho, Alrendro, and if you really want to spend, then a Borgia. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I think the plans make sense, mate. You've got a good River at Contenders. Yeah, River at Contenders is the place you want to be. You've got River and Celtic. They're basically the best 2 contender teams. So you can't really get much better than that. I think you're well set there. And obviously you've got a couple of, you've got the Dortmund collection, which is great. Nice footprint in Champ. You've got a couple of other cards there from, I see, Mechelen and Antwerp and stuff, but majority comes from Celtic and Dortmund and River. And I think that's the play, mate. At limited, you're gonna need big XPs, you're gonna need big collection bonuses, and you're gonna need the best teams most of the time, you know, and you have that in abundance at Contender. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And then I think having the Dortmund boys in Champ will definitely, you know, it'll put you in most weeks when it, you know, hoping that Dortmund is still pretty good next year. You know, decent chance that probably is the case. But yeah, good on you, you know, selling the rares and realizing that, yeah, you know, it's strengthening your limited is where it's kind of at. But yeah, I think you're pretty set, mate, in that sense. I don't really see much else to really, go through there, to be honest. I think you're in a good position. So I'm trying to get my mouse back. Wow, Lafise on 79. Ooh, Zaidu's cooking, lads. 16 AA, 3 tackles. That's huge. We're flying, by the way. Have a look at this, lads. Have a look at this all-star super rare team that I've just put together that I really didn't expect anything from. Look at this. We could be cooking here, by the way. Got Matson to go, Brennan. Cook is really worrisome, to be honest, but it's a good start. It couldn't have really got any better for me how that started. So we'll take that. Daniel Cooper time. I still owe Daniel a card. Daniel, have you had a thought about what you want to do with your reward? Okay, let's do it. Slowly want to get really deep into limited, but at a really high quality level over the rest of the year. Having Bellingham, Kane, and Vinny, etc. I almost want too many options, so all my lineups are in favourite comps. Prem, Bundesliga, La Liga champ are of high quality. I get it. Plan is to sell off a lot of the scraps I have lying around, anything that isn't in the high collection bonus percentage or that I don't think will be properly useful over the next European season. Not looking to get into rare, but we'll keep my Cov boys. Torn in selling most of my collections to help fund new season buys in August or to keep them to be more competitive in classic comps. Ooh, let's have a look at your collections. Yeah, of course you can, Daniel. Of course you can message me on Discord about that later. Lucas says, do I think it's worth... It depends on the reward, Lucas. That's too much of a broad question. Sorry, mate. Okay, so what we got? We got Minnesota. Good evening, Tobias. What's going on, mate? What's going on? Okay, Minnesota at 5%. Ren at 5%. Liver into Miami. Cov. Double Cov. Salt Lake, Leon, Liver again. 2023. Galaxy, Cov at rare. Tottenham, Toronto, Club Bruges. I mean... Man City, Barca, Napoli. Look, the question is, can you build up enough of a balance between the cards you own already in the new in-season comps, like when they come out? I know we have Prem already, but let's just go Prem right now. Let's have a look at what we could do. Oh, Kelleher's a lovely one to have right now. Vicarios, you got 1, 2, you got 3, 4, 5. You got 5. Oh, and you got other Kelleher's as well. That's great. Like you've got enough quality here to be playing. We know you got three in season, 3 Premier League in season lineups. Realistically, like they're not all going to be incredible, but they're all of definitely a decent standard. I think it's a case of, rather than sell it, like looking to sell your old cards or old collections, Dan, I think it's more of a case of like, what can you win in this next 6 months? Between cash / rewards that could, if they don't fit in the collections you already have or you're not interested in those cards, sell them off. And, basically what I'm getting at is, I think your collections are good enough to where you should be yielding a decent amount of cards / cash between Premier League comps, the new in-season comps that are coming in, coming soon or whatever. I think that is what you need to be doing rather than looking to sell any of them, realistically. I just don't think... Because like the new in-season cards are going to be a lot of money at the end of the day, aren't they? I don't know if it's worth selling the old season cards to try and fund that, because you're just going to be diluting the quality that you have, realistically. Like if you sell a whole... I'm finishing first every game week in Prem season. Well, obviously, Dan, of course you are. But you know what I mean? Like, is there much point selling them? I don't think there is. I really don't. I think you're better off just building and like snowballing the effect that you already have already, compounding it. That feels like the play on paper. There is obviously scope to sell the odds and ends of things. I think there is. But I do think that definitely makes sense. Mad Koala says, do you have to be a member? Yes, you do have to be a member to have a gallery review, Mad Koalas. So yeah, if that makes sense, Dan, I hope it does. But I wouldn't be thinking about selling your collections, genuinely. I just started an old season Real collection, as I'm sure Bellingham and Mbappe will be in the classic La Liga comp next year, as in like as prizes. If that makes sense, Dan, is that what you're saying? Okay. Let's have a look. I'm surprised Southampton haven't conceded yet. I don't want to jinx them, but feels like it's going too good for them, to be honest. How is Kakare scoring? Not great. Yeah, it's prizes. Yeah, they will be. I mean, 100%. It looks like Bellingham's off there, isn't it? So, Mbappe, sorry. Yeah, I think buying an old season Real Madrid collection is not a bad idea at all, really. Yeah, no, that makes sense, mate. Okay, AG. Have I got the right AG? Yeah, I think I've got the right one. Okay, I want to start building a strong limited squad for Champions in March and for the next European season in August. Since the last review, I picked up a New England Revolution collection and a bit of a Cap 240 team. My goal originally was to grind out thresholds over the summer. However, with the new product roadmap, I think I'd like to focus more on the Prem in-season comp, as I think I'll have a little more sustainable than Cap 240 with the cards I have. I also want to mainly focus on purchasing cards in the top leagues that I can use for the champion competitions and prepare for a quality squad over the next European season. I'm also looking to strengthen my MLS over the summer beyond my Revs collection. Any suggestions on how I would go about achieving this, or your personal thoughts on what would be best? Much appreciated. Just catching up on the chat as well. Tobias, got myself a rare Chardonnay as my first ever award. Gotta be happy with that. That's amazing, mate. Good card as well, actually, Tobias. Congrats on that. Dan says, this is a bit disgusting front line, by the way. Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinny, and Mbappe. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work, but it's frightening, isn't it? It's absolutely frightening. Yeah, I literally, I'm just speechless at how crazy it is, if I'm being honest. Okay, so you obviously want a champ. You said you want champ cards, or improve your champ stuff. I still think you can play Cap 240 with your Rev collection, or with with whatever collection you play with. Obviously, you got the Prem cards. It must be more than that. We've got Matson, Neto. Yeah, I would argue playing the New England Rev cards in 240 isn't a bad idea at all. As well as whatever fits for that game week. But yeah, it's one where you've obviously got a few decent Prem cards. Nothing that I think this is gonna go out and win you massive amount of cash, but you'll definitely be in with a chance. And yeah, it's obviously a case of grinding thresholds for 6 months basically, and putting more money in. That's just obviously the way to do it. I mean, your Matson card right now is, at a price where I'd be potentially thinking about, selling him. I know he's ridiculous right now, but his L15 is going to be too high soon, and he's probably one that you probably want to get rid of just comparatively to the rest of your gallery. He is worth nearly 20% of your gallery in one card, So I definitely think I would think about maybe selling him and trying to fit in, fit other things in, to be honest. Sorry, Standard Liège just conceded again, which is not ideal. But yeah, definitely think about selling him, I would say. Even though he's been great, but you'd make a good little profit on him, and it gives you a bit of a balance to work with. Strengthening your MLS situation, I mean, I don't know if that would be a priority for me realistically. You've got some decent cards there already. You've obviously got the Twente boys as well, which you can both play in the same, challenges region. So I think that makes sense of just keeping that how it is. You're probably going to need a Carlos Heel, so that I don't know how much Carlos Heel is, but maybe selling an Ian Matson can help fund a Carlos Heel. And that's kind of how I would play it. And then, yeah, working your way towards, I'd still play the threshold. Like, I think you still have to play it whilst it's there. It makes no sense not to. It's a route to cash. There's not many routes to cash right now. And threshold still is a route to cash. So I think you've got to still utilize it. And kind of, do it that way. So let me know how that works for you, Shamrock. Any questions, obviously, let me know. We've got Brad up next. So come March, he wants to play Contender and Challenger. Okay. I'm going to play Contender and Challenger, sorry. My strategy going forward is to concentrate on multiple Contender and Challenger Classic teams to hopefully gain some decent in-season cards. Makes sense. Looking to buy some players from Asia so I can play over the summer. Schultz is the next purchase. Then an Asian mid. Also, I have bought 3 Super Rares from Chile and Ecuador as I was planning to play Rare Plus. I think for the long term, I'm going to work towards making a Super Rare team. Would you be able to help me as I'm not sure which Super Rare keeper and midfielder I should get? Was looking at Alexander Dominguez and maybe Nishikawa, or if you've got any recommendations, would be appreciated. Budget is around £1,500. Also, do you think the current Super Rares I have are good enough to compete? Last thing, I know this is a long one. Would you say I'm making the right call with my strategy, or is there anything you could recommend me do? Appreciate all the work you put in, Harry. No worries at all, Brad. And let's have a little look at what we've got going on then. Floor high to low. Let's see what we got going on. Some decent scores there. Not bad. A bit all over the place as far as his scores go. Like, there's some really high peaks, but then some really weird scores as well. Very decent card last year. This LDU guy. I mean, yeah, it's an interesting one because you're going to need in-season Super Rares, aren't you, to kind of compete. You don't need in-season cards, obviously, in Classic. What am I on about? I mean, look, Contender's going to be really hard, mate. Just being brutally honest. It's not going to be easy. And I think, look, I don't want to rain on your parade in that sense and tell you Super Rare is probably not for you right now. But looking at the Super Rares you have and the amount you want to put in, I know £1,500 does go quite far right now at Super Rare. But Contenders, I think, is such a bloodbath in general. As far as we don't know how the divisions are going to look, we don't know how the strength of the teams are going to look. I just don't know if it's worth it realistically. Is it worth holding off and seeing how it pans out at Super Rare level? Because there's so many things to really see shake out that we haven't seen yet. It's hard to really put your eggs in that type of basket right now. I think your rare cards are looking pretty strong, to be fair, from what I'm seeing here. Ferreira, Carlos Heel, obviously Bilo getting injured was a bit of a nightmare. Wagner, really good. You've got some really good cards. And I think it could be a case of really nailing down 3 good, contender/challenger teams. On the Classic side of things. Obviously, if you can play the in-season ones, then great, because you do have a few new cards here. But that would be where I'd be thinking about working this through. I wouldn't worry about Super Rare right now personally, mate. Genuinely, and that might not be because obviously you can play your Super Rares down. Remember, so I just wouldn't be spending £1,500 on some Super Rare cards now without thinking about strengthening my rares to the utmost degree, because everyone else is going to be strengthening their rares. You get what I'm saying? You have some good rares, don't get me wrong, some really good rares, but you're going to need more good rares. You're going to need 3 teams worth in each, if you want to play Contender and Challenger, you need 30 really good cards, basically, if we're being honest. So I'd be thinking about that a bit more. I know that doesn't sound as fun as buying Super Rares, I get it, but I think that is important to note. I really, really do. So yeah, that would be my sort of my advice to you, to be honest, mate. I think you're on the right track with some of the the Challenger and Contender cards you got for the MLS, but double down on that. Keep sort of going. You don't have to spend £1,500 into it, but keep adding to that to get to a degree where you can really fancy yourself in some of these rare divisions. Everywhere's going to be competitive at the end of the day. I just don't know if it's worth going into Super Rare with one-ish team, if that makes sense, and spending £1,000 on a keeper and You know, Nishikawa, like, I rate him, like, I have him myself. I obviously sold his super rare not too long ago because I didn't need the super and the rare. But, like, he's only probably got a season left in him. It's like, do you really want to spend $1,000 on a Nishikawa super if he's not going to play after a year, you know? I don't know that for a fact, but just judging off his age, you know? I know in Japan they go for a while, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's something that I think is definitely worth talking about. Schultz as a next purchase is great, like, such a good card. And, yeah, what is your opinion? Have a great lineup or multiple alright? It's always have a great lineup over multiple alright lineups, Eric. Every day of the week. 100%. One great lineup is always better than 10 okay lineups. Fact. So, yeah, hope that helps, Brad. Okay, Jacquiel. Jack, what's going on, mate? Play America throughout the summer at rare and limited. Expand my rare gallery. What should be my next move in my gallery? I think my rare forwards are weaker and I need a constant start in America keeper. Thanks, Harry. Let's have a look at what you got going on at rare. Let's see what you got going on at rare. VRL 1-all. If anyone cares. Okay, 15 rare cards. Kaz, Yangobo. So you got, yeah, Tolo. Josh Asensio. Cade. Well, Cade's in Mexico right now. Oh. I just got the ongoing clean sheet notification from from Bazunu, which is a nice surprise. Struggling to find good players in Eredivisie that I haven't already got outside of PSV and Ajax. Well, yeah, that's the problem, mate. Like, there's 2 or 3 teams that dominate that league at the end of the day. Like, it's hard to find great players outside of it. Otherwise, they'd be playing for those teams for the most part, you know. But yeah, as far as your forwards go, let's have a look. Cowell, I mean, not great. Bodrin Galasias, interesting. There's definitely there's definitely scope to get a better forward in here, isn't there? Eredivisie goes in Challenger. It's in the middle one. With Belgium, Turkey, Brazil, Denmark. Yeah, I mean, having a goalkeeper as a start, like, you know, I guess this guy doesn't start all the time, does he? I guess he was starting and then it looks like he's being benched, which is not ideal. Or maybe he's the backup anyway. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to need a goalie in here for America. Obvious, which you've obviously said. But yeah, it's obviously just a case of, again, you do need to find places of, if you're not yielding at limited to fund the rare sort of, expansion, you do need to just pump more money in at the end of the day. Like that, again, sometimes it's a bit it's a lot more simple than people think. Again, it's not easy just to do that if you don't have the disposable income. I get it, but ultimately there needs to be some sort of new money going into this gallery to fund for the goalkeeper and stuff, Jack. So, yeah, I think that needs to be the move. Getting a goalie in. I'd play 240 still. Still work at 240. You've obviously got a goalkeeper in Turkey that can help do that. I know his L15's getting it. His L15's fine, actually, but some good scores from him, so I'd keep working at that, to be honest. Tobias says, not going to lie, I'd at least think about selling out of rare with this gallery at the summer latest and strength and limited, but obviously it all depends. That's the thing, Tobias. Yeah, like, on paper, I do think, like, you probably shouldn't have rare cards if your gallery is only worth 570 quid, really. I think the ratio between 36 limiteds and 15 rares doesn't really make too much sense. I get if he's just playing, cap 240 for a bit and maybe, make a bit through the threshold that way. But yeah, like, sustainability-wise, it depends how much disposable money you have to go into it. And if it's a lot, then obviously continue going at rare. But like, if it's not, then it could be a good idea to regress a little bit and just sell out of rare and go all into limited. I know it's not as like I don't know what's the word. I don't know what the word is, but it's sometimes it's not as fun or maybe not as fun, but like the risk isn't as, yeah, it's like it's not as sweaty, if that makes sense. Like the sweat isn't as good at limited as it is at rare. Obviously, it's just higher stakes, right? But like if you can have a really good limited team, it's way better than having a fucking really average rare team. I can tell you that. So, you know, there is definitely like genuine reason for me to agree with Tobias there in the chat, Jack, that, you know, it could be something to think about. It all depends on what you can, like I said, it all depends on what you can add to this gallery. If you can really add, you know, a decent bit of cash to the rares, then fair enough. But I do think that there might be a reason to maybe regress and kind of go that way and go really hard into limited. Hagleton says, personally, I don't see the point of a rare gallery like this as opposed to a way stronger limited. Yeah, I get that. I agree with you. I do. But yeah, that's the thing. He could play at 240 though with this lineup, in my opinion. I do think that there is scope to do that. But yeah, as far as the actual regions, it doesn't really make too much sense, does it? If we're being honest. Chi-Town, baby. It's Kanye West season. I don't know why I'm going into the lineup builder. Okay. Kennedy time, baby. So, for March and August, I was planning on rolling out 3 lineups in Challenger Classic and potentially a lineup or 2 in Challenger in season. Benfica and PSV in season stacks and Columbus LFC stacks for America with multiple individual pieces. I plan on playing 3 lineups in Champion as well. Sam, am I reviewing any gallery? I'm reviewing the galleries of my members, Sam. Like members to my YouTube channel, basically, to make it black and white. What am I looking at here? You want to play 3 champion lineups as well, most likely classic, as I simply enjoy the card rewards more than the pure cash. If Arsenal had a smash at game week, a matchup like Sheffield United, I would play them in the Prem comp. Can't turn down that opportunity, of course. As I said above, I enjoy card rewards more than cash. So when August hits, I'll just play classic. And if that can churn rewards into in-season lineups, then I will do so. Makes sense. I have a lot of under 23 pieces. But that's more of a situation where if I can field an especially strong lineup there, I'll prioritize it. Makes sense. Otherwise, it'll most likely be leftovers. I have a lot of teams around the 2% Bayern, Real Madrid at PSV. Do you think it's worth it to keep building out those teams with lesser players, or build more individual 2% stacks around better players, such as 2% around Madison and 2% around KDB? I'm personally in the camp of the 2% on your Madisons and KDBs personally, Kennedy. I always think good cards score good points at the end of the day, or good cards score high points, and like that always beats a rubbish card that has 15%. Not always, but most of the time. You know what I'm saying? I get it if those good cards. I get it if like an Arsenal collection has 15%, and it's sometimes hard. Sometimes you just got to give them their credit and go, you know what, they've smashed it this week. Well done. You just got to like take that L. But like, I always think it's better to buy your KDBs, Fodens, and Madisons on 2% than it is to like bump out. Like, it's not better. Obviously, ideally you do both, don't you? You bump out the teams that you have on like 2% already, your Bayern's, Real Madrid's. But I still think as a priority, it has to be going out and buying the Madisons and the Fodens and the KDBs before buying the like the little pieces to take your buying stack from 2 to 3%. I think at a minimum, getting 2% on everything is like kind of the goal. 3-4% is like luxury. 5% is like unworldly, I think, at rare level anyway. So yeah, I would definitely get those sort of KDBs and Madisons in first. And then lastly, you said I have some plans as to who I'm buying, but I'd like to hear your unfiltered feedback as to where you think I'm a bit weaker. Let's have a look then. Let's have a look at what we got as far as weakness goes. We'll go champ first. We'll go champ rare. So we've got Neuer, Raya. I mean, I can't really complain, say too much about them as far as, I don't think that needs strengthening too much. Cancelo, Trent, Timber, Dayot, okay, Carvajal, Zinni, Guerrero, Ben White. So obviously got a nice little Arsenal stack going on. I mean, some of those Arsenal cards will get better next year as well, like your Timbers and stuff. Dayot, yeah, I think you're definitely covered at, I'd say you're definitely covered at defense from what I can see. Jude, Kimmich, Saka, Odegaard. I can't really see much of a gap there, if I'm being honest. Vert, Vinny, again, no gap. So I think your champ's pretty set, mate, to be honest. Like, you can field 2 teams, obviously, unless you want to buy another goalie and go again. But I'll end up getting Courtois. I was just going to say, as the champ keeper. Yeah, so then you'd have 3. There might be scope then for maybe another defender or 2. Maybe. I know you've got Carvajal already, but, you know, maybe a Rudiger or even a Militao to come in with Courtois, potentially. Okay, challenger, sorry. Yeah, Kennedy has a sick gallery, let's go. Really good gallery. So we've got Trubin, Benitez, Blake, Scholter, Lace and Krapau. I'm very happy with that 6. Very, very happy. I can't really see many holes there. Buscagli, Wagner, Gertruda, Otamendi, yeah, again. But if you're playing 3 or 1, 2, 3, I think you need like 6 really good defenders, I would argue. And you've probably got, let's not say really good, but good. Definitely Harry or Gressel, 2. And you've got like 3, 1. Yeah, you've probably got enough there, I would say. Just about. Midfielders, Gold, Puig. Bless me. Yeah, Gold, Puig, Szymanski, Morris, Alcanus, Brian Gutierrez. Okay. I'd argue you might need João Neves is down there as well. Fair enough. As far as like MLS goes, I don't know. Do you need maybe one more? Do you need maybe one more really good midfielder potentially? I'm not saying you don't have really good ones. You obviously have Puig, Gold, and Morris, but one more maybe could really like strengthen that out to the point where you could go double mid all the time, basically. Obviously, you've got some really good forwards in Ferreira, Buanga, and Rossi. So yeah, you could go double forward on the odd occasion as well in certain lineups. Lozano's one. I think Lozano's done personally. I think you need to get rid of Lozano. Sorry, Kennedy. I'm not having him. Kumungo, very nice. Yeah, I think. Oh, and God, great. You got a really good. Yeah, forwards are fine. Genuinely, like I haven't seen many holes right now. So far. And then okay, so I'm guessing you're not playing contender then. Yeah, challenger. Yeah, okay, yeah. So champ's not even contender's not even a thought. That makes sense. Mate, I love the fact that you're like super hard in 2 sort of regions. Like again, that goes into like having, I'd rather 2 regions being super condensed and full of quality. Like Kennedy, you have one of the best galleries I've seen at this sort of like rare level. You know what I mean? Like it has everything really. Like there's not much you're missing. Cameron says, I bet it's hard, Harry, to advise people with galleries such as, yeah, I mean, it is and it isn't. Militao's on the list, Kennedy says. Maybe a Madison KDB type. Yeah, I can get behind that. In terms of challengers, I think maybe one more challenger mid. I thought from Europe, actually. We'll end up getting Chucho as well with 4%. Columbus stack. Okay, yeah. Getting a Chucho would make sense. Going back to, what was it? Challenger mid, was that? Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, you could argue, yeah, Szymanski, Alcanus, João Neves, but obviously more of an under 23 piece most of the time. You could argue there's definitely scope for another. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I kind of disregarded that, maybe because obviously season's not ending now, but we're not too far away. Yeah, a tasty little mid could help, couldn't they? Maybe not even someone like crazy expensive, like a Gedson Fernandez maybe. So someone in that sort of realm, I'm thinking. Tobias says add in one of Heel, Almada, Hector, yeah, Reyno. So yeah, that's what I was thinking as well, Tobias, in that sense, like going towards the MLS side of things. Maybe one of each. I know it's, we're kind of, saying, get everything now. But you know what I mean? I do think there's definitely scope to get, a mid from either one, 100%. So yeah, hope that helps, Kennedy. Hope that gives you a little bit more guidance. Now we've got Connor, who has a strategy at the moment is to downsize by 40 cards or so, but complete the Fulham collection and compete in the new threshold competition and the in-season Prem. Makes sense with your massive XP Fulham stacks. I like it. Daniel Wass is an interesting one. Kennedy said, I like Goncalves, just nervous about the summer transfer, but at £290, how much of a risk is there really with how well he does? Is that Pote? Yeah, Pedro Goncalves. I mean, yeah, he is smashing, isn't he? Sorry, I'm just replying to a text. Lafise, come on. What happened? He lost his double-double. Come on, get the double-double back, please. Zaidu has 4 tackles, by the way, which is huge. Love to see that. Southampton still have a clean sheet. I don't want to jinx it, lads, but it's looking good. Time to start saving for the super, as it sounds. Yeah, but I think you have rares good enough to where they should be yielding, things for you, which can really help you towards that. I really am of that opinion. Okay, Connor, let's do it. So, strategy moment, downside by 40 cards. Is that 40 cards, if you are here, Con, is that 40 limited, 40 rares? What are we talking about? And then I'm looking to compete in under 23 with mostly cheapest contender cards, hoping to win a champ under 23 down the line. Makes sense. Probably be like Beak, Fuji, Kawasaki, Hoyoso, and another. Do you have any niche players that fit the category of lower rated players that you think could do well, especially in defense? And ideally, has under 23 utility past July as my keeper, has utility into the next season. Yeah, good question. David Brooks goal, no way. I didn't play my Brooksy. That's annoying. That is a bit annoying, but I get it. Go on, Brooksy, though. Love that. Love to see that. Yeah, can't fault that at all. It's lovely to see. Go on, the Brooksy boy. Go on, the Brooksy. Okay, yeah, so you're just looking for some niche players. I know I said I'm not going to sort of tell you exactly what players we're looking for, but I guess as that's Connor's only sort of question here, realistically, yeah, I kind of don't mind trying to think of something that kind of works. So you're looking for niche players that can kind of win you champ cards, basically. You obviously have a lot of Asia cards, don't you, from under 23. And you want a defender. I mean, Fuji's been really, really good. Kawasaki. I'm trying to think who's really good in Asia in defense, though, in under 23. I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head, but I will actually go in and have a little scout for you, to be fair, mate, because... Okay, so you're getting rid of 30 limited, 10 rares, 2 or 3 supers. That makes sense. That makes sense. Let's have a little look. You basically want contender cards, realistically, right? I'd assume. Clearance off the line. Oh, I love that. Go on, Big Jack Stevens. 100 points. Whew. £100 for the big man. Ooh, Zaidu's cooking. 25 AA. 10 duels won, by the way, from Zaidu. If he can get me 2 more interceptions, we get a triple out of him, which would be absolutely mental. That would be crazy. I'm just looking at this guy. I mean, he was scoring pretty well before, but the issue is he's going to run out of eligibility, isn't he? Is your issue with that one. So that doesn't work. That doesn't work, does it? I'm trying to think of any Arge defenders. I mean, if you want a super, super niche player, Con, like he's crazy niche, but I'm giving him away because he's my boy. Let me show you. He hasn't he's not scoring ridiculously well. But if you can get your hands on a little Ramos Mingo, mate, there's 12 rares in existence. I am the proud owner of the only super in the whole entire world. Can I just add? And he's done really well so far for defensa. Not like really well. Like, you can see the scores there. They're not incredible, but like there's something cooking a little bit here. Sandez maybe. Let's have a look of. Yeah, the ex-Boca boy. Yeah, I mean, that could kind of work. Some decent scores as well. Not bad. Let me just have another little scroll down. I'm on a train and internet keeps coming and going. Sorry, Con. That's not ideal, is it? What about this guy? It doesn't look like he's played much, but no. I didn't. That's the thing. Like, it's hard with the new league. I tell you what, though, Alan Montes could be a boy. Montes has been really good for me. He's only 20 quid? Yeah, mate, go and get an Alan Montes for 20 quid. It's because obviously Mexico are in contender, isn't it? Mate, he was selling for like 60 quid a few weeks, like literally a few weeks ago. Okay, they're the old season, fair enough. If you could maybe try and pick up this new season. Yeah, even the new season's going for 20 quid. Jesus Christ. Con, yeah, have a look at Alan Montes. I won him as a tier 4. And he's been pretty good for me, so. I mean, he got me 4th in under 23 rare, which was a bit mental. And he still has eligibility. Kim Taiwan. Yeah, we'll have a little look of him. There's Ramos Mingo, the boy. There he is. Yeah, I think Argentina is probably your best bet. Valentin Gomez is a good one, but he's pretty expensive, I would say. Old season is good for under 23. True. That's a good point. I just meant for for XP and stuff, but yeah, that makes sense. So yeah. Lads, we only have we only have 2 left, lads, by the way. We've kind of flown through these a little bit, haven't we? So I'm just replying to Daniel on DMs. I really wanted Lafise to get this double-double, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, lads. Gutted. He's 1 duel away. He's 1 bloody duel away. That is really annoying. All-Star Super Rare, by the way. I think the guy's on like 500 points, yeah. Oh my god, look at this. How am I supposed to compete with that? He's on 500 points, lads, with his goalkeeper to play. Buscagli, 100 as his captain. Dest, Veerman, De Jong. Jesus fucking Christ. And that. Like, how are we supposed to... Connor got Montes in, love that. Pamphim for Andorra. Yeah, he's been okay, but not great right now. Interstacks have gone crazy. Let's have a look. I think the scoring this weekend is going to be mental. Yeah, Interstacks are doing pretty well, but not in the places you'd want them, really. Like, kind of, like, defense, yeah, fair enough, but, like, okay, yeah, Kalinoglu's done well, but, like, Thuram and Martinez haven't, like, smashed. They've done fine. They've got goals or whatever, but, like, you know. So yeah, gonna be a tough game week to compete this weekend, lads. Okay, hope that makes sense, mate. And let's move on to Cali. I don't want to say the first place is gone, but I think it's out of reach. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. No, Dotty. Dotty, if you're still watching, no, it's not too late to get a gallery review in, mate. As long as you can fill out your your form in that sense, we can get that going. We can get that going for you, mate. Okay, Nick, I know you're in here. Well, you were in here. I don't know why I'm going over to that. Challenger Europe is done, 528 points. Yeah, PSV have smashed already. It's done. Love that Denmark is back. 99.9. Wow, that's insane. Okay. Oh, I just got a notification. Sorry. Okay. Sold off my gallery and reconstructed a few weeks before the big announcement. I want to focus on under 23 rare. I've got a Salvador Esposito, only 8 exists, sorry. It's pretty powerful. Worried my forward defenders might be too weak. Next European season, I like to run 2 classic under 23 comps. What do you think I do with the leftovers? Move out Danilo and go exclusively under 23. Align the leftovers and run them in challenger, contender, and hope for the best. Ideally, I'd like to win some cards and sell them in order to put together an MLS team in the summer. Let's have a little look at what we got going on. Let's see what we've got going on. Okay. So we've got three goalkeepers technically. Obviously a Dan as well though, but I mean under 23 wise. I think having 3 goalkeepers next year for the under 23 is great because you can obviously play the best 2 and you can play all 3 really. You know, if you want to go 3 and under 23 comps, but you said you wanted to do 2, which makes sense. But yeah, as far as leftovers go, yeah, I mean that's the problem. Leftovers are going to be leftovers, you know, in that sense. Like they're probably not going to do much for you, unfortunately, because you're going to be up against teams that have like main teams in there. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Like I used to find, like putting in my leftovers, like my under 23 boys in like other comps, it just didn't really make too much sense. So yeah, I mean, I would just double down on under 23. Really, I would just really. I know you can't play more than one under 23 team right now, or like in March onwards. Obviously, from August you can. So yeah, it's probably a case of like I would play your leftovers in cap basically, Nick. I would probably play them in capped. So like have one really good under 23 rare team going out like now, and then whilst doing that, play the rest in capped and just try and earn some cash with that, you know? Mantle's just a loan. Yeah, it is. Mantle is just a loan. You know what I mean? Like that feels like the play, to be honest. That really does feel like the play to me. For Militao, I've just scored, but I don't think Zaidu's had anything to do with it, unfortunately. But yeah, that feels like the play. Eccles, Sanwa, Verts, lovely card. Esposito, yeah, you've got really good mids. Hey Harry, do you perhaps know when to cap 240 for people who haven't played it returns? It'll never return for you, mate. Unfortunately, I don't think. I don't think it ever comes back. Technically, like if you didn't play it before, you can't play it now, and it's gonna go in August. So no, I don't think it will come back, mate. To be honest. So yeah, worried your forwards defenders might be too weak. I mean, Rodrigo's very strong. Bakwa's very strong. I'd argue you have like Dan Rotz on his day can be pretty good as well. Adam Holzek could come good maybe next year. A bit, you know, trying to sell wholesale. Okay, defenders. Dedic, Teze, yeah. Danilo, you probably want to get rid of that Danilo. I don't think it makes sense to keep him, to be honest. You are probably missing, yeah, maybe a really decent, you know, Teze. You got some decent cards here, but you are missing a bit of like a luxury piece, like a Schlotterbeck, or I know he's going to be out of under 23, but like an Ignacio, someone of that sort of caliber maybe, could really elevate your team, I would say, because you've got really good mids. Obviously, you got two or three really good forwards. Defenders, I'm looking at like Teze, and then I'm like scratching my head a little bit, you know. That feels like how that works. Cameron said, "Is there a timeline yet?" Yeah, Cam, there is a line. If you've not read, surely you've read the updates. I know it's confusing, but it says it all in the update. I mean, it is a bit confusing, but like it is there. Like if you're willing to read through it. So yeah. And then what do I do with my leftovers? Yeah, I definitely move out Danilo for sure. But I would align from like March onward, or from now onward, or March onwards until August. I definitely would play those leftover under 23s in capped if you can, you know. I don't know if those leftovers are going to be that that competitive in challenger and champion, or you know, challenger and contender is kind of what I would kind of say. Need to splurge on under 23D. Yeah, I would say under 23D is probably where you need to go, and it doesn't need to be like the super expensive ones, but like, you know, a good scoring one would help, obviously, right? So, you know, That would probably be where I would focus my energy, mate. So, yeah, hope that makes sense. And then we're going over to, we've got Kali, and then we've got Dotty. Dotty? Kali 92. Okay, so mainly looking to run one classic team in Champ and another 1 to 2 teams in Challenger with my Universidad Catalina stack in Contender. Bought Mamadashvili as he covers Champ and is good handcuff if I pivot to under 23. Local lads also think he's Newcastle Star's keeper next year. Interesting. We'll be taking advantage of All-Star / Cap 240 until August. Makes sense as I continue to shape my gallery. Do I think you're spreading yourself too thinly? I'm just concerned about going all in on one region, as we know how quickly Sorare drop changes on us. I know I probably need to strengthen depth, and Champ mids aren't great. Are there any glaring weaknesses you can see? I mean, Vitali's graphic on X is the simplest way. Yeah, that makes sense, Gruds. I think that's the best way to look at it, for sure. Or like to understand it maybe for you, Cam. Oh, Laffy's lost like 5 points. He lost another duel. Come on, Lafitte. You're killing me, mate. He was flying as well. He was on like 78. Now he's on like 68. Not ideals. Not ideal. Sorry, back to business. Back to business. You forgot the dates. That's fine, Cam. Okay, let's have a little look. So, mainly looking to win one classic Champ comp. Let's see what you've got going on at Champ. So you've got Skorupski, but he's a bit dodgy. But yeah, Mamadashvili kind of makes sense. Porro, Trippier, Grifo, Veritout, Moreno, Gordon. Yeah, it's a middle-of-the-road team. Like, it's not incredible, obviously. Really good defenders, I would say. Very strong in defence. Midfield's a bit suspect, I would argue. Moreno, I really think Moreno's good. And obviously, you know, Gordon being probably from the team that you support, Cali makes sense. I really think Gordon's class, but his scoring has been a bit suspect, I would say. But, like, has the, you know, sort of capabilities to be a good AA forward, you know, if he gets decisives. So I get it. I think forwards are fine. I'd say mids is where you could probably strengthen. I don't think this amount of, like, you do need more Champ cards, you know, at the end of the day, you do. Like, Porro's injured now, which, you know, obviously not ideal. So, you know, there's definitely room to have a bit more depth at Champ, I would say. Definitely. And then you've got, said, your Challenger teams. So you've got another 1 to 2 teams in Challenger. So you've got, yeah, Slowick, who's playing in Turkey right now. Avia, Guilherme, yeah, so a decent amount of mids here, for sure. And some good forwards. Griffin Yao did really well tonight. Paulinho, really good forward to have for the summer. Yeah, I just worry about, like, not having summer defenders and goalkeepers. How's that going to work with, like, Hector and, I guess only Hector, really, and Paulinho, Hulk, yeah. So from, like, April onwards, when Brazil comes back, you're probably going to need... Well, you don't definitely need it because you've got Slowick, who I think's in Turkey right now, isn't he? So, you've got the Turkish defensive stack. I get it with Guilherme. But, like, after that finishes, like, what do you do with... You know, you're probably going to need something goalkeeper-wise and defensively, aren't you, to take you over through the summer, I assume. And then contender-wise, we've got, okay, so we've got the Dituro, Beak. Okay. I would sell out of Champs and focus on Challenger. He has smashers in Challenger. He does have smashers in Challenger. Either add outfielders or dump Skorupski. Yeah, they're fair. Yeah, they're very fair sort of suggestions. But I think you do want exposure to Champ. Like, he has decent cards there. Like, they're not terrible. They're not incredible. Like, they're middle of the road. They definitely could, yeah, like you said, maybe sell a Skorupski and go pretty, you know, harder maybe into another mid or something. Or maybe even another defender with Porro being out and whatever. But, like, yeah, I mean, Kurzgaard's a really good one. Very good card. Glishenikov's really good as well. Do you think I'm sure? I mean, I don't think you're spreading yourself too thinly, really, because you can play all these cards in 240. That's the hard bit for me right now, lads, isn't it? It's like, yeah, he is quite thin everywhere, realistically. If we're being honest, like there's still some really good cards all in there mixed in. But ultimately, we can play All-Star for until August. We can play 240 until August. That's the problem. Like a lot of these scenarios, like aren't a case of like we need to just get rid, like chop off contenders right now, or chop off challenger, or chop off champs. Like they're all still usable in lots of places, even in the next 6 weeks. You know, I don't think we need to rush things too much a lot of the time. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, Callie. And yeah, you've got some really good spots in there, mate. Like you said, work in progress, and things will take sort of shape 100%. Okay, our last one then, lads, is Dotty. I feel like this has gone really, really, not fast, but it's been fine. Like I thought it'd be way longer. And we've spent a good time on everyone's galleries as well, so I'm pretty happy with that. I really am. Let me just check my phone 2 seconds. Leon finally won a game, which is great for them. Di Brooks, man, what a player. Okay, my gallery goal is to only compete in Classic for now. I want one strong rare lineup, one champ rare lineup, sorry, and the rest is either in Challenger, new Chal with MLS, and capped if it remains. It's going to remain till August. Use the rewards from the summer to build a second lineup for the next champ season. Then limited collections for teams I support. Is it worth playing for quantity of lineups over quality with the new update, or should I consolidate for top tier lineups? And then 4.5, I'm considering trying to pick up the new Galaxy 2024 collection when they drop the new cards, but will that be way too overpriced due to new comp structure? Am I better off investing elsewhere? I don't know until we see the prices of these MLS cards. It is obviously the first thing to mention. So you've got 27 rares, 63 limited. Okay. Almada, great one. Palacios, Rubio, Andrich, Bulat, Wagner, okay. Wagner Blake, love that. Paintsill, Mihalovic, Shaloy, Maguire, Ronan. Some good cards here. Some really good cards. So yeah, classics. Oh, and you got Grimaldo in there as well. Jesus. Herdecki. You got some really nice little stacks here, mate, to be fair. Some really nice little cards. Well, big cards, to be honest. User rewards from the summer to build this. Yeah, I mean, with the cards you have, you should be winning rewards. Wherever you're playing All Star, whatever. Like there's some really good cards here that should be winning rewards for you right now. You know, Grimaldo's the best card in the game basically right now. Herdecki, you've got some really good cards, and then obviously when MLS comes in, again another good set of challenger cards to go in there. Almada, honestly, really good cards. What about Paintsill? Obviously, people expect him to completely smash. He probably does, but like, you don't know, like maybe a bit more strength forward, maybe. But I know you said you won the new Galaxy collection. I don't think it's a bad idea to aim for those Galaxy cards. If you have the money for it, why not? Like, yeah, they're going to be overpriced compared to the old cards, but you can win cash with them. Like, not many people will be in that position, to be honest, Dotty. Like, they won't be. As simple as that. If you are able to go out and buy some of these new season cards and have the bank balance to do so, I think you go do it. Tobias says it's fine until the summer, but for August, you probably want to streamline. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would go in. I would just like really concentrate on champ personally from August onwards. I'm not saying you shouldn't have your MLS boys. Like, go champ challenger, but continue to add to both over these next few months. But yeah, as far as like, is it worth playing, for quality? No, for quantity. No, it's always quality over quantity at the end of the day. I'll preach that till the day I die on this game. Like, you have to have 5 really good cards over having 10 average cards over 2 lineups. It's as simple as that. I really do think so. And that'll never not be true. Everyone's always aiming to get better teams. And I think, that has to be the aim, having 5 smashers. Simple as. It's fine. That was about the gallery before. Sorry, Tobias. Yeah, I thought so. I thought that was a bit random for this gallery, because I was going to say this is pretty streamlined, to be honest. But yeah, second line for champ. I think, yeah, nailing your first champ team, winning rewards over the summer, hopefully into, a champ team for next year as well. That kind of makes the most sense. Should I consolidate MLS cards for the likes of Bouanga and Gill? I mean, when you say consolidate your MLS cards, you mean like get rid of the ones you have now? Like, obviously, you couldn't get rid of all of them, obviously, but you know what I mean? No, I don't know. I think Giacomakis, Almada is a nice little stack, Blake Wagner stack, and then you've got extra play either, Paintsill. I think you've got a really good, like, one team, like, Ronan, whoever the player is. Like, I don't love double forward, to be honest, as a play. You got Ladero in there. You're probably missing, you are probably missing one other, like, really good MLS player, I would say. Either midfielder. Probably midfielder. Get rid of the mid-tier ones that I have right now. Maybe. Maybe. There is definitely scope for that. I would say maybe getting maybe a heel over Bouanga, I would say. I think Giacomakis and Almada could be a nice little stack. And then, extra player being a midfielder is probably the way to go. And like a heel, obviously you can't go wrong with probably a Carlos heel in there. So I definitely think that needs to be, and like Paintsill could be like the sub forward, if that makes sense, if Giacomakis isn't really doing it. Byron Love says, what do you recommend if I'm starting with 50 quid? There is no cap 240. Go for 270 or under 23. Wow, Gavin Bazinu just kept a clean sheet, lads. Miracles do come true. Jesus Christ. That is insane. Bazinu away to West Brom. Who would have thought it? Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. Invest more, Your Gamer says. Yeah, $50 isn't going to go very far in 270 or under 23, realistically. Nicholas says, and right now my champ lineup has both Dybala and Kramer. Should I find a mid or defender to play as to not run double forward? Or as in you've got Kramaric and Dybala. It all depends on the matchup at the end of the day. Like if both of those forwards have great matchups at home or something, like, and they have good matchups, then going double forward isn't necessarily bad. But optimal most of the time is going for like two smasher mids. Like if Cruz is playing, then a Cruz. If whoever else name another midfielder plays, then great. So I would argue maybe a nice European mid. Obviously, you've got Palacios, but I know he's been injured and stuff. So, that could be definitely something to think about. And or even defender, like you suggest. Another defender. I know you've got Tapsoba in there, which hasn't been great recently. Maybe a Hradecky right now to pair with... not Hradecky, sorry, Hincapié maybe, to pair with Grimaldo and Hradecky. Something like that could definitely work. Hope that helps, mate. And lads, I do need to do one more thing before we leave, and that is I need to buy the West Brom manager got sent off after 5 minutes. That's mad. I need to buy Daniel Cooper's reward for him. So he wants the 21-22 hexagon background Luka Modric, trying to get 13 cards. Now I'm playing with semi-pros. I won a tier 4 last week. Fair play, that's great. And now I'm 150 points with Bellanova and 140 with Friedel. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would continue to play the semi-pros for now, Byron, until you can probably invest a little bit more. Because, obviously, if you can't play 240, then moving up to 270, like, with 50 quid, I just don't, like, it's possible. But, like, you need to be really good at scouting and stuff to really, make that work, to be honest, mate. So I'm going to buy one of these cards for Daniel Cooper for getting the question right on the old monster, lads. And then I'm probably going to call it a night there, lads. It's been an absolute pleasure. 3 hours and 20 in. Honestly, I thought it would go a bit longer, to be honest. So I think we've done pretty good for time. I'll get that sent to you, Daniel, when it allows me to. But lads, if you haven't left a like on the stream, please do so. And honestly, like, from the bottom of my heart, the fact that you guys have been here for 3 hours and 20 minutes, most of you is like, just blows my mind. And I just appreciate it massively, genuinely. The fact that you guys are willing to watch, content like this for 3 hours or so is is insane. And yeah, I genuinely can't thank you enough, lads. So yeah, all the members, everyone watching, the are members, everyone, you mean a lot to me, genuinely. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, lads, I hope you obviously had a good night and stuff. I'm gonna get to bed now soon, and yeah, big weekend of football. I know there's been some go fucks already, but it's part of the game, isn't it? We've signed up for, so it is what it is. And Ben says grafting on Fridays. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's all about that graft, mate. Putting in the work. And yeah, no, I mean, it's not real work. I mean, it is, but it's not, Like, I'm trying to make it my job. Well, it is my job, but you know what I mean. Like, I wanted, I love football. I love talking about football, and I love, this type of thing. So hopefully we can really take it, to new heights and stuff over the next coming weeks and months and whatever. But yeah, I'm happy where I'm at, and I can't thank you enough for the support, lads. So yeah, have a good night, lads, and I'll catch you very, very soon.